Tonight, we bring you this week's flight sim news with thanks to SayIntentions. We preview iniBuilds Malta, check out the Boeing 707. We compare ActiveSky and StrataWx, Mobile International Airport, and Wee Tune Beastie.
Hello there.
Hello? Hello, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to the middle of the week, the halftime show, the midweek shuffle. Welcome to the news. Yeah, brilliant. Hope you're all keeping well. Busy one tonight. Not an awful lot in the newsage area, but there's a bit. But we're going to be busy showing things and stuff, and things, right? So, looking forward to this one. We have seen the release, of course, up with the Janie. We have seen the release of Sim Update 6, and now we also seen the AAU 5 update. And one aircraft that got ahead of that, of course, its own bespoke launch, was that of the Boeing 707, which was originally released back in Flight Sim 2020. Yara got tweaked and upgraded at the hands of iniBuilds and Working Title. Now, speaking of iniBuilds, we're going to ramble on over to a place I was once offered a job in Malta to work with the Maltese public transport. Could you? Seemingly they'd lots of buses, and they were mad for me to go over there years ago. Yeah, right. Trucks, I know trucks, buses not so much. But we're going to be checking out Malta from iniBuilds, which is on the way, and just what a setting! What a setting! Malta, of course, a very popular holiday destination, and jam-packed with history. Everyone wanted a slice of Malta, so we'll be checking that one out as well. And then a burning question: do we stick with the default weather? Do we go with ActiveSky, or should we have a look at StrataWx? Well, we're going to have a look at all of those this evening to see which one fits your requirements, and what one you should get, if you should get any. That'll be answered, we hope. And then a little bit later on, we check out Mobile International Airport. And this is a brand new release from, wait for it, Drzewiecki Design. If you say it fast enough, people won't. Right, I can't pronounce it. But anyway, it's where they make Airbus in the United States. And we checked out a preview of this on the news a couple of weeks back. Tonight, we get to check it out. And then finally, a brand new add-on widget utility called Wee Tune Beastie has appeared, and I'm going to show you what it's all about, where you can get it, and what it can do. It's going to be very interesting, But anyway, hope you're keeping well. Currently 15 degrees here at Murph Manor in the Premier County of Tipperary. It's 21 degrees inside of the man cave, and I was quite busy today. The rate of things I broke today it was much lower. Thankfully, it was much lower today. I didn't break as much stuff. I did, however, get a new controller. Ooh. Now look at it. I'm not sponsored or endorsed or otherwise. I paid for this, but it's called a GameSir, and it's a controller that works with PC and your Xbox, and it'll work on Mac, right? It's a wireless controller which is based kind of loosely on the Xbox Ultimate or Elite. What's it called? Yeah, the Xbox Elite controller. But it's cheaper and better because they actually send you different buttons and you can customize the shagging thing, which is great. But, friends, what makes this little gadget a little bit unique, it has a little docking station. You drop it in to charge and all the jazz. You get a couple of hours out of it. But what this has that others don't, it has a gyroscope built into it, meaning you can actually control the flight cameras. Anyway, I haven't tried it before flying the plane, but you can actually control the stuff with the gyro, which is it's a trait that only PlayStation currently has. So that's being tested behind the scenes as well. But like I've had a wired controller. It lives down here somewhere. Jesus, don't fall off your chair. Oh, I nearly they're bashing me heel as well. Why do I do these stupid things? I've had this gadget, which is a wired gadget, which used to live in my top drawer, right? And I mean, look at this thing has worked since Flight Sim 2020. It just has. It didn't ask for much. Didn't require any sort of special care. I used to get the wire cut in the drawer out all the time, and drift had started to creep into the thumbsticks, in which I had said, "Oh bother!" But I think they all did after a while. But it was a USB, and as I said, it was grand. But I'm tired of the wires. I want to get rid of the wires. So that now is retired. Don't fall. That now lives. Jesus, there's buttons. That now lives under the table until such a day I need it. So now, in saying that, if this turns out to be right, we'll be replacing it. But I thought it was interesting. You know, controllers and such, and that's what I did. So that's what I'm going to be messing around with. What else did I do? I was out for my walk this morning, out there now, giving it all sorts with me, podcasting me, right? Brilliant. And it lashed rained on me as well. I got terribly wet. And apart from that, what else did I do? I'm trying to think. I did other stuff. I was talking with Gibbo today. There's ideas. It's dangerous now when Gibbo kind of, Murph, what do you think of this? Dangerous territory. And now I'm all like, oh, this is going to be absolutely class. So more on that in a few months. Yeah, right, because it'll take months to figure it all out. But anyway, I think that's it. Yep, that's it. You're up to date. I did other things, but sure, you know, they weren't terribly exciting. I reactivated Charlie, my robot lawnmower. He cut the grass. Great job. I was coaching him. Go on, you know, I was rooting for him. His cheerleader. But yes. Oh, but anyway, how are you? What did you do today? Did you get up to any old crack at all? Get in trouble? Have a good day? A bad day? Maybe your day is only beginning. Maybe it's at the start of the day, at breakfast, what do we eat? Or, in fact, it's, you know, middle of the day. In fact, you shouldn't be here. You should be working. It's all happening now. But anyway, tell us, lads, tell us. Who's here, look? Chalks is in the house. Welcome aboard. Vacuum is here. Eamon, 1973. You're very welcome in. Super Typhon, sup? Fierce Wolf is here. APU Inspector, a very good day to you, sir. Hope all is well. CP65, welcome in. Flipper Alloy is here. Rob Dag, very good evening to you. Mrs. TPHI, upside down. There she is. Multi-platform. She's upside down on multiple platforms.
Oh, Jesus.
Welcome aboard, Mrs. Hope you're well. Who else now come in? Obi the Janie. The check-ins are working as well. Corn Wolf, a very good evening. Hope all is well. One Foxy Bingo Gav is here. Yeah, right. Mac Vision, good evening. Hope you're doing very well. Takes you back to watching the old wrestling games. Do you remember that? Corn Wolf, come here. Do you remember? You'd have good old Jim Ross, you know. Your Discord alert is broken. Oh yeah, why didn't that fire up? Uh-oh. That's very strange. Why didn't that work, this shagging thing? Wait now. If I press this and then do one of I'll do it manually, but like, why didn't that work? There's something up. Someone has broken the internet. I don't know who it did. Or who did it? It will have a game of Cluedo. Who did it? Was it the bot? But anyway, but yeah, I used to love wrestling back in the day. Good old Jim Ross, you know. And then you had Jerry the King Lawler. It used to be brilliant. Best commentators in the history of anything ever. Yeah, right. Brilliant. But yes, Blinky is here. Good evening. Frying Tritz is in the house. Welcome aboard. Creo. He says, what news from the Oracle? We bring you news of the realm. Welcome in, Creo. Hope all is well in County Mayo. Malky Mac is here. Good evening. Sumner checking in from Milwaukee. Good to see you, buddy. Killswitch is here. Good evening. Gar Gaming coming in from County Galway. You're very welcome aboard. How's all in Galiev? Mech Manser is here. Welcome, welcome. Viberstrike says good afternoon. From San Francisco on holiday for about 2 weeks. I'm ready to cruise to Alaska. Oh, Viper, that sounds amazing, man. Wow. Cruising San Francisco to Alaska. Get out of town. Spitfire RAF 100 is here in the chat. I'm after pressing buttons on the shagging thing already. I need to either move me or I don't know what I have to do. Am I even center stage? I find myself over here a lot. I need to be over there. There needs to be like symmetry of the balance of where I live and where I am. I see I'm trying to lean into the microphone. I could have just done that. Yeah, this is what happens when I'm in charge. I forget to do things. If that goes up and then right, oh shit. Hang on. We're having an issue. Stay up there now. Hang on. Oh Jesus. Right there, we fixed it. Brilliant. Right, that needs a bit of, bit of WD on the, you know what I'm saying? It's a little bit on the old stiff. But anyway, Mrs. TPHI has literally just passed out. She's on the ground looking up. How did she get here? But anyway, the Damaranian, welcome in. Hope you're well. Visualize is here. Happy Wednesday. Muse fan bursts in the door with his elbow. He says how he is. Yous mad jokes. Yous. Happy hump day. It's good to see you, Muse. Hope all is well. Hermit Something is here. A very good afternoon to Boston. Hope all is well. Now, let's have a look. Idle Cutoff, Cambridge calling. Hello from Tipperary. You're looking well. Cracker is here. Good evening. JP Gaming's in the house. Martin Kerry Aviation has rambled in with a tier 2 sub. 47 months. Martin, thank you very, very much indeed. Hope you're well, bud. And yeah, great to see you, man. Great to see you. Who else is here now? Look, speak now or forever hold your Sunjammer. Welcome in. Shuffle Shoes shuffles in. AJH John, hope you're well. Be careful with the microphone. There's a good chance I'm going to box it now and, injury. Get right. Anyway, let's see what the crack is. Elric is here. Good evening, Murph and Fireflies. I've been chatting with Brian and Max in the SayIntentions live stream. They are starting the UK regional voices after the release of the Canadian and US voices. Ooh, nice. Very, very nice. Yes, so they have... They've just released France. They're working on Germany. They mentioned Bahrain, Japan, India. Like, they've lots to go through. Very, very exciting stuff, for sure. For sure. Goblin Zeus is here. Good evening. Hope you're well. Assidious, welcome aboard. 98 Vulcan is in the house. Welcome in from Gosford, Australia. Currently 9 degrees, he says. Strap21, hola. Restoring is checking in. Many thanks for all the check-ins, lads. Great to see everyone there. Exo Giant, welcome aboard. Devilfly is here. Bit of tunage, Murph. Got quiet. Here we go. Culkin, good evening. Sim Guy is in the house. Welcome in, welcome in. Linny Bobbins, 'tis herself. Good to see you, Linny. Hope you're well. Commander Balosh, a very happy Wednesday. You're looking well, bud. Filthy is here. Good to see you, bud. Fierce Wolf checking in. Who's fierce and wolfy? Brilliant. Uniform Goose, good day, Goose. Hope all is well. D White is in the house. Piku, good to see you. Lord Freed is here. Bonsoir, monsieur. Hope you're well, buddy. Vanilla for me says Idle Cutoff. Right, Vanilla. AZ Blue Line, welcome in. Sunjammer, thank you very much indeed for your Prime subscription. 45 months. He says, tip, never let Murph touch too many buttons or he will break it. I agree. Yes. Wait, what? Did they do one for normal sized hands? Well, no. Yes. Shag off, they are normal size. Stu Snape is here with a 225 stream streak. He says, how are you, Murph? Hope you're well. Sorry, all the sausages have been consumed. Aris, Stu, come on out of that. There'll be more for the phone party, sure. Right. Hope you're well, mate. Mugan is here. Good to see you. Goose is testing his new headset. Ooh, very nice. Very, very nice. Gar Gaming, thank you for 14 months. Cheers, buddy. Appreciate all the support, lads. You're very kind. Photos by Kev is here. Hello, fellow Smurfettes. Good to see you, Kev. How's she cutting? Looking forward to the Owl Holliers. Echo 19 Tyler, this guy. Good to see you, Tyler. Welcome in, buddy. And again, thanks so much for letting us showcase the upcoming sound pack for the TBM 850. It is just an absolute pleasure for your ears. Amazing, amazing. You're very welcome in. Zybok Doc calling from Denmark. Hello from Tipperary. You're welcome. Good to see you, bud. I'm Pierce. Welcome, welcome. Is Gibbo stocking those high-vis polo shirts? No, they're not high-vis. Shag off, will you? Tarnish Mossman is here. Good to see you. Hope all is well. Where is this now? Mr. Dan. Yeah, well, I don't know why it broke. We'll figure it out. I'll blame someone else. Right. Muse fan broke it. Why did I even pause there? I shouldn't have had to pause. I should have been just, Muse fan broke it. You know what I mean? Jala God, welcome in. Latka is here. It's kind of busy. The internet has run out of pixels. Yeah, right? What happened? Did it break? Are we still live? We are. Yeah, we're kind of live. Yeah, we're live. Billy, welcome in, Billy. Hope all is well with you. Bald Eagle. Happy Wednesday. What are you up to these days? Reverend Murphy in the Go Live channel with the mallet head. Wait, what? In the Go Live channel with the mallet head. I did press the button. I don't know why it didn't work though. It was madness. Absolutely madness. But anyway, my alert was 10 minutes late. Yeah, no, I had to do it manually. Excessively Salty is here. Good to see you. Bellbro, you're very welcome aboard. Vasco from MSFS add-ons.com, the finest writer in the land. Welcome in, buddy. Vasco, I received a box. I should have messaged you. Thank you very, very much indeed. Incredible generosity. Thank you, sir. And regards to your missus as well. You're very kind, sir. Hope you're well. Where is this now? 10 minutes until landing. The issue happens when you get older. Listen, right. It's some sort of a deficiency with vitamins or iron, the upper dorsal. Right. 10 minutes. Good to see you, man. Shall you be at Bristol this coming fall yonder? When are we going? October, rather. It's good to see you, man. Hope you're well. Thanks, lads. Don't worry more if that happens with it. Yeah, thanks, lads. Yeah, Jesus. Get the blue pill. Bloody hell. Iowa Scotsman is here. Look at you. You lot are just desperate altogether. You can't leave you alone for 2 seconds before you're going nuts. Yeah, right. Iowa Scotsman, welcome in. Sim Captain Mikey, good to see you. You're looking well. Two Dogs is in the house. Where is this now? We've more buttons down here. Look, it's very busy. Antler Jones, good evening. You're getting better at your bonsoir, monsieur. Well, merci beaucoup. Très bien. Right. I did French in school. Now, I was useless at school. I was like, that can't be right. Every teacher. They're rubbish. Argue with everyone. They think you're more intelligent then. And then when it comes to your exams, But yes, Airlock Doc is here. He says, I'm here, but I think my brain is at another location. It's been one of those weeks. Well, that's quite okay. You don't need a brain when I'm here. I damage the intelligence of other people. That's what I do. I'm very good at it. But it's good to see you. White League, welcome in. TG Sims is in the house. Tier 1 for 18 months. Thank you very, very much indeed. TG Sims, I believe, will be at Bristol. Won't you, sir? Won't you? I think so. Old Veteran 965, live from the MRI place. Downloaded all sorts of stuff from Just Flight. Now Microsoft Flight Sim won't load. Says my computer isn't good enough. Uh-oh. Scott. How did you break it? And what I would recommend is empty out the community folder and start again. We're actually looking at an application this evening. Well, not this evening. We'll learn about it tonight. We're going to look at it next week. Might be helpful to you. Also, I would recommend checking out Just Roy's application. It'll help. If there's any old kind of weirdness going on, it'll tidy up your Microsoft Flight Sim. There's a link for that over in the add-on section on our Discord. Well worth a look. North Coast Mike, good to see you, buddy. Where is this now? Nicky Fizz is here. Welcome in. Off I shag, says Idle Cut Off. Off he shagged. Indeed. Toto2495. He says, evening peoples. Happy mid-weekage. Toto, it's good to see you, buddy. And regards to the missus, hope you're well. It's a Cluedo reference, Murphy, at Big Egypt. It was you that brought Cluedo up. Oh, wait, now I get it, Muse fan. Yeah. Jesus. Can we start that again? Cluedo, it was supposed to be, the drawing room with the colonel, with the candlestick holder. Not Murph with his mallet head. Yeah, right. Nutty Slack is here. Good evening. Flying tonight. Welcome, you mad, lovely people. Or hello, he says. Good to see you. Kev says, just dropped 3,000 as the deposit. Rocky Mountaineer is booked, just waiting on Holland America to release the 2028 schedule and pricing. Ooh, nice. 10 minutes. Mr. 10 Minutes will be in Bristol. Looking forward to it, bud. Think of it now. I'll start working on me dance moves. Yeah, brilliant. You're right. I mean, just close your eyes and you're there. Put on a bit of, Billie Jean or something and visualize it. Yeah, right. But not too much. You'll ruin the surprise. But yes, great news, buddy. Looking forward to seeing you. Scott says the internet here is garbage. Man shouts at clouds. Arr! Yes, blast. Steve C is here. Greetings from Chicago. You're very welcome in. Reshade installation. Nice, buddy. Nice. Am I still using it? I am using a reshade gadget. What I'm going to do, I'll probably tag them onto our Wednesday streams. And what I'll do, I'll start going through my reshade, chase plane, flow, all my sim settings, Windows settings. I'm going to start tagging those on to maybe the Wednesday streams at some stage soon, because I know you guys want to know. And it's the old story. As soon as you do them, I change them, and then it all gets updated. Do you know what I mean? So I'll be adding to that soon. So keep an eye out for it. SK Sun is here. Good to see you. Rusty Blade is here. I'm doing Bristol, but being a streamer superstar, you'll be mobbed. Not at all. I really don't. It's the odd person come up and say hello, and make sure you come up and say hello. You'll hear me anyway. I'm very loud and big, but you'll hear me before you see me, But yeah, just come over. I think there is something in the computer that shagged. I'm hoping it isn't a video card. No, well, if it's a video card, it'll hard crash, as in it'll turn off, or you'll get blue screens and all this. I would think, Scott. Let me know when you're around, sure, we can dial in, and I'll end up doing the ninja leopard crawl if it needs to happen. I'll be that man. Right. But yes, Norse Viking, thank you very much indeed for 11 months. Cheers, buddy. Thank you very much indeed. Come here, 10 minutes. Did you see poor El Kenko last night? We raided Kenko and he was absolutely transmoglified. Absolutely. Right. So we now know we literally only have to get Kenko a glass of Prosecco at Bristol. A single glass of Prosecco, and he's going to be wired to the moon. It was hilarious. He was absolutely transmoglified. It was poor old devil. But yes, where are we at? Just give us your PC, it'd be easier. Yeah, 100%, Dan. I'll give you a loan of it for the weekend, right? Brilliant. Or if you're around wee people, they will feel you first when you step on them. I'm bringing many lanyards with me to Bristol. I actually have. I'll have a small collection of exclusive merchandise. And I have a couple of pens. Wait now, look. A couple of these bad boys as well, look. Ew. Put this to the camera and make it look all fancy. It is a pen. But a pen like no other. It's one of those multicolour pen. Well, I say multicolour. There's a blue, there's a black, and there's a red. All built into the pen. Yes, you can't buy these in the shops. These have been crafted from, that fella. And I'll have some of them. There's even the soft thingy majiggy on the top, look, for, the tablet button pressing thing. Very sophisticated. They cost a fortune. I mean, literally hundreds of thousands in my head. But yeah, there'll be them and other stuff, Watch him to the end, the clips. Yeah, it's hilarious. He's just dancing without music. Love it. Absolutely love it. Clearly isn't suffering from droop. Wait, who? What? Anyway, come on over here to the tube. We'll welcome some folks in. Dave JSB. Good to see you, Dave. Welcome aboard. Ace is in the house. Mrs. TPHI is on the tube as well. Thank you very much indeed. Sim Guy is here. Dave Cleary. Legend Dave. Welcome back, Dave. Good to see you, bud. Northland Air. Very happy Wednesday. You're looking well. Sir Beaky is here. Good evening. Flying Winnebago is here. Welcome in, lads. PGM is in the house. Anna Crussus is here. Snap Murph on the Bremen Tea. Been living in mine for the summer. Isn't it? Absolutely gorgeous. T-shirt brought to us, of course, by flightsimtees.com. The underpants line is coming soon. I've been, getting myself into shape for the recording. I've to work on all these kind of dramatic poses. Yeah, right. Coming soon, right? No. Monty, good evening. Who's this now? Julie, welcome in. Hi from Julie and Pete. Hello, Julie and Pete. Welcome aboard. Happy Wednesday. Sourdough Man is here. It's time for the news. 420, The Moose. Good to see you. Steve Stavros. Good evening. Did I miss anything? Not at all. You have arrived at precisely the right time.
Can I get a refund?
No, there's no refunds. Are you mad? Absolutely not. Now, let's have a look. Where's this now? Sky Command is here. Hang on, you're looking for... Wait, can I do that from here, look? Sky Command, this is just for you now. Oh, Jesus, this is going to be technology. Wait. Right, hang on now. Just for Sky Command, ladies and gentlemen, he has activated a thing with a yoke with a thing. Where's the shagging button now? And I used to have music for this. Oh, we do, look. I'm waiting to see. I'll turn on the lights, look. Yeah, baby.
Oh, Jesus.
The entire stream is going to be my only fan. What do you mean it isn't well balanced? Kev, you be falling to one side if you've been spinning around all day. Isn't it only brilliant though? Do you know? Right, we have to be careful with that. We can't be... We can't be showing that off now, you know, people be getting the wrong idea. What do you mean it's a small fan? It's a great fan.
Get a load of this guy.
Andrew Jones, thank you for the bits. Thank you very much indeed. Jesus, turn off that music now. Whisht, back to normal. Right, where now? We're all fan of the fan, right? Mark this stream for the adult goodness. Brilliant. But yes, fantastic. I'll get me coat. It's brilliant. Oh wait, I see what you did. Fantastic. Chocs, you're on fire, man. Chocs is on fire. He's absolutely brilliant. Cover your eyes, little ones. Brilliant. I'm not going to tell you how long it took to get that up there, but sure, listen, you know, it's been there for a while now. But anyway, shall we begin our evening of things with stuff? Are you ready? We're pressing buttons here, look. There's a light. There's a light. And here's a button. There's a transition. Did you like it? Oh, Jesus. Will you remind me to put a drop of oil on my gadget? It's very important. Very important. Now, this is the Boeing 707, which has been upgraded at the hands of iniBuilds and Working Title. And I gotta say, they've done a phenomenal job. Right, and there's a very fancy Aer Lingus livery available over on flightsim.to, and that's where I've grabbed it. Because, I mean, Air Fungus, back in the day, this is when Aer Lingus were like, oh, Jesus, that brilliant airline. Now it's all like, what have you done with the airline? But back then it was great. Right? It'll get its own fan mail now, right? Dear the fan.
That's a big 10-4, good buddy.
Motley, thank you very much indeed for 38 months. Cheers, buddy. Lads, your support this month has been absolutely incredible. Thank you very, very much indeed. Yeah, we're chasing this kind of tier 2 Twitch partnership. Give Murphy a few extra quids out of that. Go on, be Janey then. And I really appreciate all your help. I don't know where the number is. We've to get to like 300. If we do, we do. If we don't, I'll moan about it, but I'll get over it, right? But we're up like 170 or 180. So thank you very much indeed. Every sub or gifted sub or whatever it is, it all goes towards it. And we only have... Jesus, I didn't mean you to do anything. Idle Cutoff with 5 of them. Jesus. Idle Cutoff, thank you very much indeed. Lads, if you got a tier 1 sub, with thanks to Idle Cutoff, whose current location is in outer Mongolia. Do be sure to say thank you. You're very kind. But yeah, I think we only have to hit it. We have to hit it for 3 months consecutively. This is our 3rd month. If we don't hit it, it goes back to start and it's all, you know, balls. But if we do hit it, it means then Twitch will be like, I see what you did. Yes, I like this. I see what you did there. Would you like an extra 10%? And I'd be like, would I? Right. But again, if we don't, we don't. I'll still fix the mic arm that has... It used to have a squeak, in fairness. I've managed to fix that. You know, I just need to fix the... not staying where it should be thing. Right. Where is this now? Oh, Jesus. Bellbro, look at that. Thank you very much. Bellbro, you're very kind. 5 gifted tier 1 subs coming in from Bellbro. Lads, if you got a tier 1 sub, and thanks to Bellbro, do be sure to say thank you. And then the missus takes 10%. Right, you know. Thank you very, very much. I appreciate it, lads. You're very kind, and I just want to say I very, very much appreciate it. Don't ever worry if you're not in a position for like subs or gifted subs and all this sort of jazz. Absolutely no problemo. Absolutely no problemo. And never let that be a case whereby, you know, you're not tuning in or you're not flying along with us. Never let that be the case. I mean that. I'll be tick with you. Riot. No, the missus takes 90%. That's more accurate.
Dude, have you been drinking? I have, Ted. I've been drinking like a mad Egypt.
No, love is, it could be anything. I think it's any sub. You know, your own, a gifted sub, whatever it is. Move that up there. Jesus. I didn't mean to. No, I did. We have a busy night here. We don't have time for that. Stu Snape, you're very kind. Thank you very much indeed. Jesus. I'll have to bring the sausage rolls over to Stu Snape. Stu, thank you very much indeed for 10 gifted tier 1 subs. He just did. Did you see what he did? Lads, if you got a tier 1 sub, thanks to Stu Snape, do be sure to say thank you. You're very kind. Chalks, thank you for the resub. Cheers, buddy. 52 months, man. Jesus. I like sausage rolls. Right. This is all getting out of hand. Anyway, aircraft. We're going to be checking out this machine in a little bit. Right. Yes, a rad. Determinator with 5 of them. Bloody hell. Just look at the detail in here. I'm already lost at all the buttons. Determinator, thank you very much indeed. 5 gifted tier 1 subs going out to the community here on Twitch. Lads, if you got a tier 1 sub, but thanks to Determinator, do be sure to say thank you. Very, very kind. Rusty Blade says, has Aer Lingus or Air Fungus been going longer than British Caledonian? I worked for British Caledonian many years ago. Aircraft were cleaner when I was still in the 6th form. Aer Lingus are there a long time, but I think it's more recently. The airline is in bother. They sold off a majority share or a share, right? And the staff are still lovely, don't get me wrong. The staff are lovely. Aer Lingus staff they never lost it. But I think their conditions and all this, and you know, any sort of let's like turn the screw and squeeze the profits. You as a passenger, you get a crap deal. You know, the fares are expensive. You think you're getting a deal, and any sort of cost saving goes straight back into them. It's just the way the world has gone. You know. Kieran, thank you very much indeed for the gift of tier 1 sub. Texas 1 Flyboy. Oh, behave. Thank you very much indeed for your bits. 1936 for Aer Lingus. That's right. And they flew into Havilland Dragon. Yeah, there we go. Out of... And I wouldn't mind, they got this wrong. They said, the first Aer Lingus flight took off out of Weston. No, it didn't. It took off out of Baldonnel. Where did they get... Like, they need to be more constructive in their research. Yeah, right. First flight out of Weston. No, it wasn't. But of course the world said, yeah, it was. You know. Get right. Jesus, there's buttons here, lads, and an alarming rate of knots. Who was that? 6 knots is here. Good to see you, buddy. Jesus. Mr. Anderson himself is contributing to the shenanigans. Thank you very much indeed. Mr. Anderson, good to see you. 6 knots, hope you're well, bud. You're very welcome aboard. Lads, you're all... Thank you very, very much indeed. A great bunch of lads. Thank you very much indeed. Skylink flies out of Baldonnel. Skylink? Does it? Wait, what? There's more. Jesus. A level 9 hype train. What are you doing on a Wednesday? Echo 19, look what he did. Jesus, look what he did. 5 tier 3 subs. Hang on, we need to lie down. 5 tier 3 subs. Jesus. That's ridiculous, Tyler. Lads, if you got a tier 3... That's very sexy. If you got a tier 3 sub, thanks to Echo 19, well, do be sure to say thank you. Bloody hell, look. That's incredible. This always happens. I drop a sub bomb and then the discount comes along. Brilliant. Any news, Murph? We've loads tarnish. Hang on, there's been a terrible distraction. Creo, look what Creo did. 5 gifted tier 1 subs. Going out here to the community on Twitch. Lads, if you got a tier 1 sub, thanks to Creo, do be sure to say thank you. He's a very kind, bloody hell, a level 10 hype train. What he's doing? Sub goal is here. Good to see you. Never going to get on the news at this rate. Yeah. What news did you have anyway, Murph? There was something about a plane and a bit of scenery. More. Let's talk about other things, you know. But yeah, crazy. Lads, thank you very, very much indeed. You're mad. Jesus. There's more of it. Where's this now? Where's the news? We're getting to it. Photos by Kev, look what he did. Jesus, 10 tier 1 subs coming in from Photos by Kev. Kev, thank you very much indeed. Lads, if you got a tier 1 sub, but thanks to Photos by Kev, well, do be sure to say thank you. What an absolute ledge. Bloody hell. Big Al is here. He says, if you ask Google, the first flight out of Ireland you get, the very first commercial flight out of Ireland took place on May 27th, 1936. Muse fan remembers that well. It was operated by Aer Lingus, a 6-seater de Havilland aircraft named the Uller, departed from Baldonnel and flew to Bristol. It was also both the first commercial and cargo flight. Lads, there's buttons and stuff. What are you doing? Jesus. What was it saying? Oh yeah, it was the first commercial and cargo flight because their cargo was a copy of the Irish Times newspaper that they brought across the pond. Absolutely nuts, right? Look at this, Lord Freed. Thank you very much indeed. Mercy buckets. That's me, friends. Look, 5 gifted tier 1 subs to the community from Lord Freed. Thank you very, very much indeed. Lads, if you got one, do be sure to say merci beaucoup. Then Stu Snape. Stu, you absolute mad thing. Another 5 of them, look. He wanted the discount. Stu, thank you very, very much indeed. Lads, I've got another tier 1 sub with thanks to Stu Snape. Well, do be sure to say thank you. Right. Absolutely incredible. Restoring, many thanks to the resub. 63 months. Jesus. Lads, they're absolutely legends. Legends. Gav, yeah, poor old Kenko got a terrible time last night. News, dang it. Okay, right, we'll get to the thing. Look, Jesus. Ewald, you're very kind. Thank you very much indeed. Bloody hell. There's buttons. I heard it and now I see me mic moving. Weird. Sarah Jesus. There it is. Sarah man, the news is... I can't see my screen. The news... Wait. The news is that everything is happening on Murph's channel. Sarah Doman, thank you very, very much indeed. Old Veteran 965, even though he's crappy internet. 10 gifted tier 1 subs coming out to the community on Twitch. Is it ridiculous? Thank you very, very much. Lads, you got a tier 1 sub, but thanks to Old Veteran. Do be sure to say thank you. Then there was more. Jamie G, the absolute ledge. 5 gifted tier 1 subs. A great bunch of lads. Lads, if you got a tier 1 sub, with thanks to Jamie G, shag off, there's no refunds. Do be sure to say thank you. What an absolute ledge. Sumner, thank you for the resub. 12 months, man. What an absolute ledge. The news has been postponed. Yeah. What's going on with you? Behave. Level bloody 12. Level 12. It took me forever to find out how to do that on the phone. Jesus. Level 12, though. Newsflash, the news will be postponed. Yes. Here is the news. News will be next week. No, we'll get to it now. Oh, brilliant. Legion Johnny, good evening. Let's abandon the news. No, we have things to do and stuff with other things. You're very kind, lads. Thanks a million. And a whole pile of you are after getting free stuff. Subscriptions to the channel. Don't forget, very important, make sure you link. Bloody hell. Make sure you link your Twitch or YouTube to Discord, because we have a members channel, which every now and again I'll do a giveaway. And it's only available to those as an extra thank you. An extra layer of, thank you-ness has been applied. So do be sure you do that. Mrs. TPHI, bloody hell. 5 gifted tier 1 subs from Mrs. TPHI. Lads, if you've got a tier 1 sub, thanks to Mrs. TPHI, do be sure to say thank you. And make sure you try and write it upside down. Right, brilliant. Don't want the news. You spent too much money. Rob the Swedish Chef, good to see you. I came to watch you fly and I just see you showered in gifted subs. Yes, showered. It's like a power hose. What the hell? Level 12, that's absolutely crazy nuts. Lads, thank you very, very much indeed. Insane support. A great bunch of lads. I really do appreciate it. Thank you very much indeed. And lads, if this is your first time receiving a sub, as I said, make sure that you sync everything up with Discord, because you get access to the odd giveaway, So, yeah, brilliant. Jesus. I was just about to move on. Determinator, bloody hell. 10 gifted tier 1 subs from Determinator. That's a fantastic name, by the way. Lads, if you've got a tier 1 sub, thanks to Determinator, do be sure to say thank you. Photos by Kev, you genius. He wrote thank you upside down and backwards, look. Jesus. You will reach the goal today. I'm telling you. Elric, thank you very much indeed for the super chat. Buy yourself some oil, you big Egypt. I need to get oil for this. She's staying where it's supposed to. Yeah, right. There's none of this movement, but it's tight, like a tiger. Jess, your finger slipped. Brilliant. Thank you very much indeed. It worked, Kev. Crazy. Absolute crazy. Lads, thanks a million. These are very good. If you're tuning in here to watch the news, we will get to it. Our studio audience have turned themselves into a frenzy of generosity. So yes. Thank you very, very much indeed. These are absolutely brilliant. Right. Will we go to the news? I promise you we have news. Press a button, turn that down, and we'll go to the news. Right, here we go. Hello, tabs on the screen. Right, our news this evening, with thanks to MSFS add-ons.com, where we start with news of the Synaptic A220. Right, it got another update, and in actual fact, I'm going to load into the aircraft a little bit later on because, friends, if you've been flying the Synaptic A220, which is also in partnership with iniBuilds, you might have noticed, the initial release, and then we got updates. We got, 1.1, 2, 3, 4. 5 has just dropped. And this, to me, it has been the performance update I've been looking for, because it is now running as sweet as a nut now. It is running absolutely lovely. And it was always a little bit heavy and not unflyable, but just, you know what I mean? It was like, bloody hell, this thing is heavy on frames. It seems to be fixed with this latest patch. And they did go into a lot more detail about it, specifically what was fixed, what was added, what was taken away. One or two things actually deactivated until they get a little bit further down the track. But in terms of how stable the aircraft is now operating and its performance, this has been great news. Absolutely great news. Synaptic and iniBuilds, I mean, they've both been busy on this. Synaptic, they're pushing out updates as quickly as they can. And, this is pretty cool. The main addition in terms of features is the checklist system. The A220 now shows non-normal checklists automatically, triggered by the Aircraft Crew Alert System, or your CAS, right? Your CAS. In practice, that means that when a caution or a warning light fires, the relevant abnormal or emergency procedure will appear on its own instead of the pilot having to go to look for it. You see, the logic was one of the areas Synaptic spent considerable time on during development, so seeing it wired into the checklist is very much the logical next step. The update also brings native checklists to both 2020 and 2024, plus support for timed, limited, deferred and follow-on checklist items. And for anyone still chasing frames, the more interesting entry might be the new no cabin variant. Back in version 1.03, Synaptic reduced cabin and cockpit node count as part of a performance pass, but now you have the option to actually reduce or eliminate the cockpit. Or the cabin, not the cockpit. You need the cockpit. But yes, level 12 hype train. Lads, thank you very, very much indeed. If I could hug you, I would. But you mightn't be very comfortable with a big Irish man giving you a hug. But if you see me in Bristol, make sure you give the big Irish fella a hug. Brilliant. Thank you very, very much indeed. That's crazy, Super Ty. Mother of Janie. I'll get the hug in October. You will. A big, lovely hug. Lovely hugs. We should have a sign made. Muse fan, if you know cornflakes box, turn it inside out. Lovely hugs. I mean, you're right. I won't charge you a lot. I'll charge anyone else €1. What's €1? We'll charge €1, right? Thanks a million. But anyway, getting back to the A220, I'm going to load up with it this evening in a little while, just to show you the performance, right? Because there is pretty cool. The EFB also saw a number of fixes. There's also been a few art upgrades across the aircraft as well, including an openable gear pin stowage box in the cockpit, alongside the no cabin option, plus fixes to the main gear door that stayed open in flight, and so on. So it's not a dramatic change, but I think this should be the performance update you've been looking for if you found the A220 a little bit heavy, and they're tidying it up. They're tidying it up. You're running a community, Merv. Cheers to all. It's an amazing, wonderful community that we have, lads. So thank you very much. What are we going to Bristol for? We have the FSUK event in Bristol. You should come. I'll get the hug in October, right? Some audio improvements coming in a couple of patches as well, says Echo 19. Excellent news. So Echo 19, of course, we checked out Tyler's work on the upcoming TBM 850 last night, and one or two little head-scratching moments were identified. The good news is, Tyler was sitting there working on stuff, which helped him identify it, and it was interesting because he said it's, and we've said the same. I mean, our complaint, if you like, when it comes to multiplayer, it's a very rare thing that people have such large community flights. We actually have a very large community who all like to fly together. That's quite rare, right? And because it's rare, it means it becomes an extra challenge, not only for Microsoft themselves, but also for developers, in particular Echo 19, because it mightn't be the case that one or two aircraft. It could be, well, no, it needs more aircraft. And then that just kind of, expands on the problem. So I was really happy to see you there and trying to figure it all out. So brilliant. I was in the kitchen getting me pizza out of the oven and I heard my name. What? Muse fan, a cornflake box, turn it inside out and right in the inside. Lovely hugs. We'll be doing them in Bristol, right? But yes, anyway, Thank you very much indeed, Tyler, and looking forward to the updates to the Echo 19 fleet. As I said yesterday on the stream, and I stand by it, lads, a sound pack is such an upgrade to an aircraft. It is the reason why you would jump back into an aircraft. You know what I mean? So yeah. I wasn't blaming them for anything. It was grand. But anyway, the news here, I'll say anyway one more time. The news here, Synaptic has updated the A220 along with iniBuilds to version 1.0.5. Make sure you grab it. If you don't have the aircraft yet, if you're somewhat interested in airliners, but you don't like doing the long haul stuff, this needs to be on your radar. I really enjoy flying this aircraft. I love the logic of it. And even though it says Airbus, it's not your traditional Airbus. This is a mix of what started out as Bombardier. And then Airbus took over the project. So the logic of the aircraft is going to be a little bit different to what you're used to flying in the Airbus family. So it's pretty cool, right? Pretty cool. The Terminator, right? One Fly Air is here. Good evening. Hope you're well. So yeah, I'll load into that aircraft later on to give you now a look at it. Now, Microsoft's Boeing 707 do-over, it's finally here, and it is that the deepest famous flyer yet. They got an awful lot of work put into this aircraft. iniBuilds have done the work of gods getting this aircraft up to scratch from the art perspective on other systems, and Working Title have fine-tuned a lot of stuff here as well. It's absolutely incredible. Chief Delta, welcome in. So the 707, what is it and what isn't it, right? I think people use the term, study level. I would argue, there is a bit of study required on how to fly this aircraft correctly, because it gives us 3 different variants of this classic airliner. The 707 pretty much started it all, right? And the 3 different cockpit configurations that we have is based off its navigation systems. We can fly the aircraft with a UNS-1, right? An FMS that has RNAV capability. We can fly it with the old Carousel IVA inertial navigation system, right? That's like way back in the day. Or in Carousel IVA, so SIVA. And what makes that interesting is that navigation bit of stuff I learned from Jonathan Beckett, and then I researched into it. The SIVA actually started off life under a different name for the Apollo missions, as inertial or internal navigation systems. So SIVA became the civilian variant, and it was first adopted by the 707. So putting in all these numbers, it actually came from friggin' Apollo, which is nuts, right? And it's great to see the Working Title have this dialed in to the full capabilities of it, which is very exciting. And then our third option then is the Garmin GNS 530, for which we're all very familiar with, right? So, some 707s that are still flying to this day actually have, the GNS 530 loaded in. So the choice makes for a lot of options. You can choose the type of flight you want to have. Do you want to fly it the old classic way, kind of middle life, or modern, which is very nice. Now, it's a complex aircraft. This aircraft had minimum crew of 3, pilot, co-pilot, and an engineer. Most of them actually had a 4th crew member because it was capable of long haul, right? But anyway, your flight engineer, it has its own station, meaning that there's buttons and all this, like there's multiple buttons for like single systems. Today, if we look at a Boeing aircraft or even Airbus, you press one button and it does multiple things in the background. But back then, they didn't have that. These were all individual systems that had to be monitored. There was, parallelation, parallel something, yeah, right? Things that I'm even going, huh? But anyway, what makes this interesting is iniBuilds have built a automatic flight engineer. We've seen this in their L1011 TriStar, meaning that you can have your engineer fully automate everything for you. You just worry about the flying. And this is a great way to kind of hold your hand to learn the aircraft, because when the flight engineer goes through all the checklists, you're able to monitor what they're doing. You'll start picking it up fairly quick. It is amazing. This is a great upgrade considering where the project started from. This was originally released by Airplane Heaven. I think it was a bridge too far. Airplane Heaven do lovely add-ons. There's no question about it. But I think this aircraft, because of the size, because of its type, demanded, a different set of, features. Right, that's the fairest way I can put it. And it absolutely now looks that iniBuilds and Working Title have delivered on that area, We're checking out the aircraft here now in a few moments, but what a cool machine. Also, if you already purchased this aircraft back in 2020, it's an automatic free upgrade. Just make sure you grab it. Or if you want to buy it outright, it's only $14.99 in the marketplace. And for $14.99, you're getting 3 variants of a classic jet, which is more than capable of flying long haul. Pretty cool, right? So that's the 707. Now, when it comes to the Aircraft and Avionics Update 5, which just dropped yesterday, we're seeing 4 additional aircraft receiving all the updates to get them up to Flight Sim 2024 standards. And this is great. I'm loving the AAU updates. We've seen just massive enhancements to the aircraft they've already tackled. This one brings an interesting range of aircraft. It includes the Bell 47J, Boeing's 307, the Curtiss C-46, and the Ford Trimotor. Now, I don't know what your favorite aircraft in this lineup is. For me, probably the Commando, the C-46. I think it's a gorgeous plane. It also comes with a native Buffalo Airways livery, which is great news. But the main thing that we get here, the Bell 47J, it's a very historical aircraft and interesting to see a helicopter. This has gotten an update for all the new helicopter physics, of course, and the looks, sounds, and just general behavior of this thing is way better. It's an iconic aircraft, one of Bell's first, and it was quite a popular machine. Next up then, we have more work in the likes of the Curtiss C-46 Commando. That got a lot of work, flight modeling, but also they've worked on pneumatic, electrical, fuel systems. The aircraft got a massive upgrade here. Then we move on, of course, to the Stratoliner, Boeing's 307 Stratoliner, and of course then the Ford Trimotor, which is a beautiful aircraft. So yeah, very, very excited to see these. These will appear as updates or upgrades. Make sure you grab them. It's not an automatic thing. You need to grab them, and then they're yours. But yeah, the 307 moves to the modern framework, the latest modular package structure, and flight model has been tweaked, changes to handling, stability, and the sense of the aircraft's weight, which is something it kind of was missing. Cockpit systems, instrumentation, and electrical behavior has all been worked on. And probably the most important for this aircraft, the sound package has been completely rebuilt across the full range. This is great news because the Stratoliner and the C-46, the sounds were not good. It's not even that they weren't bad; they were not great. Right now, they're after getting there, right? And of course, it goes without saying, career mode compatibility is in there. When we look at the likes of the C-46 Commando, which is this guy here, it got the most system level attention. Beyond the framework, Microsoft say the flight model has been revised, better reflect the aircraft size and weight, but the deeper changes sit in the electrical and fuel systems. Electrical simulation has been expanded with more representative left and right buses, along with the reworked battery. Avionics and engine bus behavior are updated. The alternator, inverter, and external power functionality. The fuel system has been built around tank selection, engine fuel routing, and crossfeed. For a wartime transport that leans on those systems in normal operation, this is where the C-46 stands out. What's pretty cool about the C-46 from Curtiss, I believe there are only 3 of these left flying in the world. 3 of these left flying in the world, and 2 of them I think are flown by Buffalo Airways. You know, them lads, right? Tyler resubbed. Jesus, 19 months. Murph, I must go home. Cheers, bud, and have a great evening to you. Tyler, thank you very, very much as always for all your support, and can't wait for folks to experience the upcoming sound pack for the TBM and the updates to the rest of the fleet. Terribly exciting news. Thank you very much indeed, buddy. Daring Daz is here. Good to see you. No, not more aircraft, right? I'm going to be flying the 46 soon because now that it works in 24, I want to revisit it and we'll see how it goes. But it's absolutely friggin' cool looking. And then we have the Ford Trimotor. I've seen one of these in real life. I got into one of these in real life, but never flying. I remember the Flying Fabio flew one of these in real life and we watched the video. But anyway, this got a lot of work. The autopilot with the full run of the Sperry system has been upgraded, improved bank pitch and heading control, better limits and clamping, and corrected behavior during the power state changes. Navigation equipment has been reworked around VOR, CDI and OBS functionality, and also the magneto and engine control logic has been corrected. The 3-engine flight behavior and soundscape that goes with it both saw tuning, as with others. Passenger and transport career activities are also live, which is great stuff, right? Absolutely great stuff. And then finally, the ATR getting a smidgen of an update. Much smaller fixes. ATR already had its native conversion back in the avionics update 4 when it moved to 2024. That came with a new CFD model, career integration and whatnot. The changes here are all career facing, as in, cases tied to skip for takeoff, skip to taxi, covering negative trim settings, engine shutdown on certain variants, and an engine failing to start when skipping taxi. It was more just to do with kind of, fixes. It also has the back to track and back to fly, generator switch logic, a handful of clipping and visual issues like the submerged fuel hose and the GPU cable has been fixed, a steep approach button artifact in the 7.2 variant cockpit, and an unlit ice probe, LOD problems, and a stuck ground proximity warning system fault light, and a landing elevation display fix. So nice to see the ATR just getting a little bit of polish. That's what it is. This is like the veneer now going onto it. I need to fly in the ATR soon. Again, a very enjoyable aircraft. So we'll have to see. Scooby-Doo, thank you for the follow. Welcome in. Been flying the Tri-Motor in Papua New Guinea. Lovely aircraft, but you need to take a cut lunch with you, right? Got a ride on the Tri-Motor at Oshkosh 4 years ago. It was very cool and loud, says Sumner. Yeah, like the Tri-Motor, incredible machine. The old historic US mail routes, that's where it kind of started life, and passenger transport. It's a beautiful aircraft, and there's a number of them around. In different museums and stuff. Don't expect any sorts of speed out of this, though. They're slow, You had to have a successful flight in the ATR, says Nighthawk. Oh no, is that after the update, Nighthawk? Because I'm looking for, I want to have a flight in an ATR. So hopefully it's not completely shagged. But anyway, that rolls out all the updates with the AAU5 from Microsoft. Now, something we checked out yesterday, in case you missed it, Echo 19 Audio, they're going to be releasing the new Black Square TBM 850 sound pack on August 27th. Featuring real-world recordings, an extensive recreated PT6 soundscape, and dynamic audio. It is absolutely incredible. The startup sounds are divine. The shutdown sounds are wonderful. It just changes the attitude, I think, of this aircraft. Black Square built a beautiful TBM here. And it was always, the sounds weren't bad, right? But now they're like, oh mother, they're real good. Yeah, right. So this is going to release on the 27th, and pricing is going to be around $19.95. It's going to be available through the Echo 19 website, and also a host of other websites, including iniBuilds and Just Flight and so on. That's where you're going to be able to grab it. Incredible work done here by Echo 19. And if you want to hear what it sounds like, just go back to yesterday's stream. You'll hear it. It is amazing. Amazing. Now, Tucson, it gets a payware landmark pack from Microsoft Flight Sim, including the University of Arizona. And, Tucson, not the sort of place that stands out to get its own scenery. When developers build city landmark packs, they tend to go to the major cities. However, a dedicated payware treatment of Tucson, Arizona has now been produced. Iron Sim Studios, who have released Tucson City Landmarks with separate builds for 2020 and 2024, both went live on Sim Market just a few days ago. The developer saying that the package rebuilds the city, more than 150 handcrafted buildings, covering downtown, major hotels, civic buildings, sport venues, medical complexes, and educational facilities, along with an extensively recreated University of Arizona campus made up of numerous individual buildings. The main number here is that it's 150 plus figure of buildings. It is massive, absolutely massive. Iron Sim lists custom 3D models with high resolution PBR textures, custom night lighting, accurate real world placement, and optimized model and LODs. How this makes a change to scenery, especially if it's areas you'd like to fly over, where we have kind of the autogen, and we're very much along the tracks now, I think, where autogen is starting to become, when it's at airports, it's painfully outdated. The general stuff isn't too bad, but when you're flying over cities, unless there's photogrammetry, it's very hard to recognize what it is you're looking at. You know what I mean? So this is what Iron Sim have gone out and done. They've rebuilt, all these 3D objects. They're going to have phenomenal capabilities when it comes to the night lighting and the LOD. You're going to see these from miles and miles away. Look at the night lighting here. Like, this is very impressive. Very impressive. Rick Engineering, good to see you. Not sure, buddy. We'll have to try it out, though. Fornax, 44 months, buddy. Thank you very much indeed. Fornax, hope you're well, mate. You're very welcome in. So, yeah, I'm quite impressed by this. We'll probably have to check this one out. What we have here, it's available on Sim Market. It's around €8.50 or about $9-ish, you know, about £7. I love flying in and around Arizona. It is absolutely beautiful. Tucson is very interesting. Wasn't that kind of, I'm trying to say Tucson. That wasn't far from Breaking Bad neck of the woods. Or was it? But yeah, I want to go flying here because it's beautiful scenery around it. You know, Tucson up to Phoenix, all that neck of the woods. It is gorgeous. So yeah, great stuff here from Iron Sim. And if you're from Arizona, well then this is ideal, especially for folks who either worked, visited, or from these locations. It is great to see this. Oh, that was Albuquerque. Sorry, Nikki. Albuquerque, New Mexico. Way across the... Yeah. Why am I getting Tucson from? So, but anyway, yeah, I'm going to be checking that one out soon, for sure. Now, other words from iniBuilds. London Gatwick is the next iniBuilds airport to get the multi-jetway capability after Hong Kong. iniBuilds are doing something interesting here. We know that they're working on the Airbus A380. That is scheduled to be their next aircraft release. And there's loads of excitement behind that. But they're also working on multiple jetways. And we've seen this already. We saw it with Chicago, and they have a little app inside the EFB that can trigger them. And whilst people are saying, you know, we'd love to have multiple jetways that are available, well, iniBuilds are doing something kind of cool because with their sceneries, they're going to make multi-jetways compatible, meaning that I imagine by the time we get to the release of the A380, we're going to have a substantial routing network in which we can utilize this kind of stuff. It's kind of cool, right? So Chicago O'Hare already has it. Hong Kong picked up the feature earlier this month, and London Gatwick has now followed with its own update, and it's available through the INI manager. Anyone who missed the original reveal, the system lets compatible gates connect more than one passenger boarding bridge to a single aircraft at the same time. And it was kind of a meme. People were going nuts saying, oh, I need multiple jetways, and oh, it's terribly important, and what are you talking about? Get the other jetways working, and then we'll see. But it's actually kind of weird and cool if you're going through the simulation of, well, I want to load the aircraft. It doesn't make sense that we're... could you imagine the horror if you were flying in an A380 and they had but one jet bridge? Sure, you'd be waiting until tomorrow to board. So it's a nice touch, I think, that iniBuilds have done. And it's also important to note they're adding this kind of backward compatibility with the multiple jetways to their existing lineup as well. This is great from iniBuilds because they're going back to previously released sceneries and they're saying, oh, hang on, we can add one here, give it a bit of an update as well, and away we go. We got that from Ubaid when we gave him an interview some weeks back. You know, he says, when we learn all these new things, when the team are able to develop these new things, well, we're very eager to go back and bring our existing lineup up to date with it, you know. So I think it's pretty cool. So yes, waiting for the Airbus A380, of course, but also the good news, multi-jetways are going to be available at more and more airports, which is great. Now, Technobrain's Tokyo Haneda Airport is nearing release after years of development. Romeo Juliet Tango Tango is coming to both 2020 and 2024, and it looks like to be the first dedicated payware version of the airport for the platform. Some airport projects arrive out of nowhere. This one has been on the radar for some time, all the way back to 2023. After a slow trickle of preview images, well, we just saw a coming soon, and that was kind of it. However, the airport, of course, the busier of the two airports serving the greater Tokyo area, and it ranks among the busiest in the world, third by 2025 passenger numbers. And despite that, it's never had a dedicated commercial scenery built inside of Microsoft Flight Sim. There's, of course, a popular freeware version. So Technobrain is no stranger to airports either. The studio previously sold Haneda in P3D, so this is a return to familiar territory, but it looks like it's getting all the bells and whistles for Microsoft Flight Sim. Is this a handcrafted airport? I'm trying to remember. Front Toward Enemy, good to see you. O'Hare is a funny launch customer for multi-jetways. Yeah, I think like there's literally one. Ubaid said that as well. He said it was interesting, but I think that was very much their test to say, can this work? Can we get it working? You know what I mean? But yeah, I remember I remember Ubaid saying that. He goes, it's typical. We've chosen Chicago. It literally has one area that's capable of it. But yeah, it's an Asobo handcrafted one. So it'll be interesting to see the advantage, of course, of a payware offering. Do you know what I mean? So we'll see what the crack is here. No word yet of a release date, but it certainly seems to be on a short final. And I think it'll be interesting to see what they can do with this. Yeah, we did spot a few issues when we were there, the handcrafted one. It wasn't terrible, but like a good payware solution could definitely be worthwhile. Now, other news over to FS Elite here. Shout out to Callum. FlightLink updated to version 1.4.0, adding SayIntentions.ai partnership. FlightLink, a virtual airline and flight tracking platform, introducing aircraft maintenance, a redesigned route finder, and a communication tool for pilots and airline staff. The update brings with it a new partnership with SayIntentions.ai, which will serve as FlightLink's hosting provider moving forward. One of the biggest additions is a new aircraft maintenance system. Commercial tier airlines can choose between managed, advisory, adversary, and enforced modes, determining how much aircraft health and defect impact your operations. Aircraft now have individual technical logs where defects can be reported, deferred, and resolved. Maintenance ranges from overnight checks to full Delta checks, whilst aircraft that fall below an airline's dispatch requirements can be taken out of service. Optional dynamic failures can also be enabled for Microsoft Flight Sim and X-Plane with the consent required from the pilot. Flight planning also been improved with a redesigned route finder. The system considers a pilot's current location, available time, accessible aircraft, and preferred type of flying before suggesting suitable routes. Recommendations can take passenger demand and repositioning requirements into account, and also has new airline messages which allow pilots to have persistent conversations with airline or hub staff. Now, this is very similar in terms of the integration SayIntentions has with On-Air Company. And it's good to see that they're moving it on to other providers as well. FlightLink, don't know if you guys have ever looked at it, but basically it's we use FS Hub, but it's kind of a little bit similar, deeper in some areas, not as deep in others. Definitely interesting to check it out. But the idea here is with SayIntentions, they have their own virtual airline alliance, and this is a great way now that they're able to link everything back into that, pulling data, seeing where people are flying. The integration with SayIntentions means you can put in your own flight dispatcher, you can put in your own flight crew, and they're able to communicate to you by reading data from this program. So you'll get a voice alert saying, hey, such and such is broken, or you need to park up, we need to send this aircraft to maintenance. It's another way of kind of like joining all the boxes together, and it's great to see it. So FlightLink now receiving this update, and there's also additional information over on their website. We'll go over there. The pricing for this, you can see it is a monthly charge, 2 subscription pass. You have a student pilot, pro pilot, or you can have the airline plans as well. So I'll share that in the chat if you're interested in checking it out, lads. That's from FlightLink, and great news there that SayIntentions have partnered with them. Moving on, Tailstrike has left beta, major expansion to its shared flight SimWorld. Tailstrike officially left beta with the shared world flight simulation platform, launching a rebuilt web app, new intelligent dispatch system, deeper VATSIM integration, and an optional paid membership. For those unfamiliar with Tailstrike, the idea is to create a persistent world where aircraft actually move around based on what other simmers are doing. Rather than simply choosing an aircraft and starting a flight, you lease one from its current location, fly it somewhere else, and then the next pilot takes it on from there. That aircraft then stays where you left it, complete with its remaining fuel and a permanent history of everyone who has flown it. One of the biggest additions is the intelligent dispatch, where it uses AI to generate flights based on the aircraft you're currently leasing, its location, and also your own flying preferences. So there's tons upon tons of these add-ons. Some have very interesting features. Some I'm a little bit lost. Tailstrike, it's web-based again, and the idea being is, a quick look at the UX here, or the UI. It can show you where an aircraft was taken from, where it was landed. Can you now fly that aircraft? And if you damage it, if you're late, if you burn more fuel, the next pilot flying it is going to have that consequence to deal with. It's all very interesting stuff. It's pretty cool. They've also worked on to say, look, there's more functionality. They have SimBrief integration in there. They can also see aircraft on a network. They have VATSIM coverage also in their own map as well. So it's pretty cool. This is a priced subscription as well. They currently have a supporter for $5 a month or $50 a year. But again, these are using server-based solutions. That's why you're seeing subscriptions. That is why you're seeing subscriptions. However, I still have my absolute favorite because where you have a lot of new programs coming along and they're looking at different features and all this kind of stuff, right? There is one that's already out and about and it's on air. And we've news on air tonight. Like a lot of these features in terms of can we buy an aircraft, can we rent an aircraft? On air has all of that and more. And it makes it interesting. And we'll be flying on air tomorrow if anyone's interested in it. We're going to be in X-Plane tomorrow with a 757. But even Malky saying yesterday he's going to lease a TBM, leave it in Fort Lauderdale. So now next week we'll fly a TBM in and around Fort Lauderdale. And when I fly that aircraft, wherever I land it, it could be Malky or anyone else inside our virtual airline inside on air, or we can even use an AI pilot to do another flight, a mission, or reposition it. We could have to fly it to maintenance. We might have to pick up our own crew. And you've FBOs, you've airports, you've the whole industry side. On air has pretty much everything that I've seen these other guys aiming towards. It's just on a much more kind of developed platform, and its pricing is a bit better. Just about to drop down into Boston. Good man yourself, Malky. Yeah, so if you're interested in the whole career mode add-on idea for flight simming, my recommendation, definitely have a look at all of these. Maybe there's something here. Maybe there's simplicity you want, right? But my recommendation is always going to be on air. And if you have any questions about it, we live stream on air every Thursday. And tomorrow we're doing so with X-Plane. We're going to be having a look at airliner ops just to see how it all behaves, because they're working on a new companion app, which is making the complexity of on air a little bit easier to navigate. You know what I mean? I'll make sure the TBM is back in Fort Lauderdale. You have an AI pilot flying it. Brilliant. Trying to make a few quid for the virtual airline. That's why we have aircraft, Malky. Brilliant news. So that's Tailstrike. Great news there. Moving on. This is an add-on I'm going to check out next week. The developer reached out to me and I'm going to have a look at it. I'm going to play with it over the next few days. But it's called AVX Sorter. Right? AVX Sorter. And it arrives in a category long served by free tools. Its case for $12.90 or €12.99 rests on automated conflict fixing and crash detection. Have a listen to this. Microsoft Flight Sim community folder, if it's grown into a few hundred folders and you no longer keep track of it all, well, you know the hassle when something breaks. You pull half of your add-ons out, you relaunch the sim, check whether there's a crash, and then repeat until you find the culprit. So that's how we do it, right? But it also takes up all your time. This new utility, a paid utility called AVX Sorter, says it can run that process for you. It is the main promise from the new community folder organizer, a job that free software in the hobby has handled well for quite years. Add-ons linker, which is something I use. The problem with add-ons linker, it depends on the aircraft installation. Some aircraft installers need to be inside the Microsoft Flight Sim folder to properly unzip and uncompress and all this sort of jazz. If you just horse it into add-ons linker, there might be components of the files that haven't translated to where they need to get to. This is something that Cyrus T mentioned a while ago, and I looked at him with a face of utter, surprise and exhaustion. Yeah, right, but he was right. There was a limitation. What we have here is a little bit different. The developer points to a handful of features. One most likely to catch attention is, they call it a CTD crash hunt. When the sim keeps crashing to desktop, the tool runs the same binary search a person would do by hand. It switches groups of add-ons on and off, narrows the field with each pass, and isolates the package at fault. The developer says the process is automated and can be resumed if you want to stop part way. Alongside it, the Sim Guardian, which the developer says scans the community folder for conflicts such as duplicate library names, overlapping files, and broken manifests, and it then repairs the ones it considers safe to handle on its own. It's important to note this is what Just Roy built, right? His His application is able to scan everything to figure out what's wrong. A backup center records every change of the app, and the developer states nothing is ever deleted. When you disable an add-on, the tool moves its folder out of the community folder into a separate managed location on the same drive, so the sim stops loading it. The rest of the feature set covers ground that free managers also work on, with a few additions. You can save a given set of enabled and enabled add-ons as a name profile, so long haul or VF4 Europe or whatever. Then you can switch between these configurations from the app's optimizer. Smart group presets can build those profiles for you and show an FPS impact preview before you even commit. And then there's a one-click flight option that starts the sim together with your companion apps under a chosen profile, a livery closet that groups liveries under the parent aircraft, and an airport map that plots your installed scenery. This supports both 2020 and 2024, and there's other stuff in here as well, right? There's other stuff in here as well, because there's other features that they're saying it's going to be able to update every aircraft, livery, airport, and scenery from one single dashboard. This is where we sit down and go, huh? And it also works for X-Plane. Let's read that again. The professional add-on for Microsoft Flight Sim 2020, 24, and X-Plane 11 and 12, which can sort, enable, and update every aircraft, livery, airport, and scenery from one area. It's compatible with PMDG, Phoenix, iniBuilds, Orbex, Fly-by-Wire, Aerosoft. So the idea here is, hang on, is this like one single place that we can update everything? You'll see all your add-ons when you click on an add-on or an aircraft. Let's have a look at the demo, right? So the question here is, does it link to your account? Here's airport scenery, right? Grand, yes, yes. Enabled. Assign. Look up online, right? Fair enough. Utilities. AI sort stuff. Grand. Flight prep. Pick what add-ons you want for certain airports. I want to see this update thingy. So this is one thing. See this optimizer? You might say that's really handy. SayIntentions have a free one. You know, just saying they have a free one. System health, that's all interesting to see. Your settings, add-ons classification, scan mode. I'm trying to see, do they actually go over the updates? Because if they have the ability to update things. So I'm looking at it here, right? Scanning your folders. And this is where you can turn things on or off. If he clicks into it, you can enable and disable it, but they didn't show me how it updates. But it says here, like that's what it says. Enable and update every aircraft. Features. X-Plane scenery, livery, airport map, optimizer, crash hunt. Where's the other stuff? So I'm going to check this out next week. Let me go off and play with this, right? Which simulators are supported? I need to play with this for next week. And then we'll know what the story is. Introduction. So where is this now? Installation, first launch, enable, add-ons. So I'm looking for like, you know, updates. That's what I want to look at. Because if this is a program that'll update everything in one place, this is going to be friggin' genius. Is it available now? Yeah, it's available now. Now, there's a price on it, G-Slayer, so I'm going to play with it over the next week or so to see if it's worth its weight in gold. You know what I mean? It looks interesting though, doesn't it? I'll give you a link to it if you're interested. I'm going to check it out next week live in the stream. This is you have to pay for this. Like, the one thing that you can see, this optimizer, which is pretty cool. SayIntentions have one, and it's excellent, and it's free. They're also doing a version 2 coming soon, and this Brian said they were going to cover that with whatchamacallit, X-Plane, which is going to be interesting, you know. So yeah, great stuff there. Great stuff there from AVX. We'll have a look at it next week. Over to, wait, should I close that last page? Yeah. Moving on, we showcased this aircraft last Thursday. Just Flight's Robin DR400 has now released over in the world of X-Plane. Beautiful little airplane, and Just Flight and Thranda bringing this one into X-Plane 12. Tons of options with it, and yeah, we flew this one last week. It was gorgeous. We did a lovely flight in X-Plane 12 with this airplane, and Just Flight just doing just a lovely job on this aircraft, the DR400. It's available right now over on the Just Flight website, $29.99. That's where you can pick it up from. It also carries a full IFR panel, which is there as well. And yeah, if you're interested in the DR400 over in X-Plane, we did a stream on this last week. It's a beautiful little airplane. It looks great. Sounds aren't too bad, but it looks great and it flies really well. And the systems are bang on. It's just a really nice general aviation airplane. So great stuff there from Just Flight. Now with On Air, they're running this. So there's a VATSIM event, Fly Pandemic 4, and On Air are working with it. It runs on the VATSIM network from the 22nd to the 30th of August. Now the idea behind this, pilots will collect various virus samples from infected cities, ferry them back to a lab, and race to find the cure before the clock runs out. Right? So this is all happening on VATSIM. On Air is directly connecting to that. Right? Thought it was important to let you know. On Air now have this new feature where they are tracking all the VATSIM events, meaning that you can fly with your On Air company on these VATSIM events. Or you can fly it offline as well, and you'll see how they give you different kind of points, and also the revenue generated for your own airline or your pilot or your company airline, virtual airline, and whatnot. So how you do it is there's an FS Quest button now available on the dashboard. You go to Charters, Freelance, Operations Center, and then you go into the VATSIM tab, and it always populates all the VATSIM events. This is its own one. On Air will pay you either way, but the event itself is scored on the FS Quest's side, and they ask two things. This is all ran, by the way, by FS Quest. FS Quest, if you've ever heard of it before, FS Quest creates all these kind of missions and stuff they push out on VATSIM, and that's why you see people flying outside of the normal events, you see. And the idea is just let's have a bit of fun with it. You know, we have to get from this location back to that location quickly as possible. And because it's on VATSIM, you got to toe the line with certain things that you do. But it's a pretty cool feature. And because On Air have the integration now when it comes to the VATSIM flights, it just automatically connects to it, which is pretty cool. So great stuff from On Air. The other stuff that they're working on, of course, is from the companion app. We're going to have a much closer look at all this again tomorrow. They've added the new tile now, of course, for virtual airlines inside the companion app. So yeah, On Air absolutely flat out with all the updates. So we'll be checking that out tomorrow. Over to can you fly with On Air offline? Yeah, you don't need to be on VATSIM. You can just fly with On Air. I fly On Air and SayIntentions. That's, SayIntentions news now. So the flight deck printer, don't know if you came across this or not. The SayIntentions.ai flight deck printer is now live for all subscribers. When you have an IFR flight plan on file, the paperwork keeps up with the flight. Clearance will print when the ATC issue it. You can also get your weather, you can get your load sheet, and so on. You have 16 different documents, and it's important to note you don't actually need a printer. If you have one, great, SayIntentions can use it. But if you don't, the slips will actually print to your screen. So you have documents either way, right? So all the different ones you can get, and I'll show you some examples. And how you make it work is you just ask your co-pilot, print me off the arrival weather. Hey, can you print off my clearance, right? And this is where it gets interesting, because this is a real thing that airliners and pilots have to deal with, in particular when it comes to the load sheet. It works with all aircraft that have an IFR flight plan. So this works on any aircraft once you filed an IFR flight plan. And you can also pick up the stuff on ActiveSky if you want it on your phone or on a tablet, right? How to turn it on? You go into your pilot portal settings and you turn it on. So you go into pilot portal, you go into your settings, and you scroll down to where it has flight deck printer. And it just explains what it is, how do you use it, right? And to give you an idea, for example, a preview of your IFR clearance, something like this will come up on your screen. It can even include your virtual airline logo if you're connected to that virtual airline, right? This is pretty cool, lads. And you see where your call sign, squawk, runway, cleared route as cleared. And then you see the load sheet. So you'll see your total weight, that's where it's signed off. Usually ground control will give you that. They'll sign it off and say, right, good luck. It's like your aircraft manifest. One stays on the ground, one goes with you on the plane, and then you give a third one to your receiver. That's how it all works. It's real life stuff that, it just happens. Do you know what I mean? This will print it directly to a printer, or it can go just pop it on the screen. You can show it in the app, and it'll even show up on ActiveSky, which is pretty cool. Pretty cool, right? So that's all up and running there now. In case you've missed it, the flight deck printer is now available to the subscribers of SayIntentions. Just another feature they've put in there. It's pretty cool. Next up then, we have the version 3 voices. They've now started to roll out, and France has now received its update to all the different voices. So the rollout of version 3, we had a look at this with Brian a week or two ago. Back in January, there was Where Are We Going session live stream, and one of the things that Brian spoke about was an entirely new generation of AI voices. Well, the good news is they have a lot of them already, and France is now live. It's just live. You don't need to worry about pressing buttons. You just jump on and that's it. If we want to listen to it.
Hello SayIntentions pilots, my name is Pierre, Air France 325, wind 320 at 4, runway 16 right, cleared for takeoff. So one of the, people talk about like the immersion of when you're flying online. It's hearing local accents. To me, that it's a huge thing, right? If you're flying over America, you want to hear an American accent. If you fly into, Germany, you want to hear a German accent. You get the idea. And some of the accents that they had, I mean, they were good. They weren't bad. But some areas there was just no data. There was just nothing, right? So Japan, for example, which will be added on a future update.
Hello, my name is Yuki. No data 73708, mile final runway 04, winds 127, cleared for takeoff.
You get the idea. You're now going to hear all of these new accents.
Hello, SayIntentions pilot. My name is Ahmed, 6 miles from Kibble. Turn left, heading 360.
So when you're flying along throughout the world with SayIntentions, instead, sometimes if there's an area that they currently don't cover, you might get a default American accent, or you might get the odd British accent. You could get any old accent because they were lacking data. They're now working towards that. France is getting these brand new voices where it had accents before, but they were not as detailed as these. Plus, you have the options then of having, you can kind of characterize them. You can, in your settings, you can say, hey, give us a bit of attitude here. Or you can just keep them, flat. Do you know what I mean? So it's great to see that this has been rolled out. Version 3 is now available. If you're flying in France, you're going to be able to hear it. So go ahead and give it a blast, because they just rolled these out. It's part of the version 3 ATC voices, and they just pushed them out. You know what I mean? Upshift, good to see it. But yeah, pretty cool stuff. SayIntentions have been so very busy, and we're starting to see just more and more features coming out there. So awesome stuff from them. Absolutely awesome stuff. So that concludes the newsage, friends. Thank you very much for sticking with us. Now we're going to check out, stuff. So we're here with the Boeing 707. And in a lovely Aer Lingus livery. And what we're going to do here now is, well, we're just checking out this machine to see what it's all about. So the update came from working title and iniBuilds, right? And well, what we're looking at here is just updated textures, updated modeling, just tons of detail on the aircraft. And as I said, for something for $15 or so, this is amazing. Absolutely amazing. What an iconic aircraft. It also ships with some real world liveries. This one is a third party. I got it from flightsim.to because it's that of Aer Lingus. And I just said, hey, we'll go grab it. Performance wise, this is very light in your system. It's you think large airline is going to crease it on frames. This one doesn't. Tons of new details have been added. And it's just a cool looking machine. It's a big ass machine, is the 707. That iconic tail as well. Isn't it very pretty? Very, very pretty. So the main story behind this lives inside the aircraft. Actually, I can keep it in drone because it's a passenger variant with cargo capacity in here as well, right? So you can see into the cabin. Slow down your camera, Smurf. So you can see the cabin is modeled, right? It's a nice cabin. It's this is where all the work went into, and even this is where we get into the finer details. Look at the textures on the chairs. Look. Isn't it mad what can be done, isn't it? It is absolutely mad, lads. So with the cabin, and then where the cabin stops, which is interesting, you go through the little door, and here's your cargo hold. So we can carry cargo as well with this aircraft, And then we ramble on up. We're into where the crew area is and the galley. And then we're into the flight deck. And this is where all the business is going to be from. You can see where different stations are. It was a crew of 3. A 4th could have been added in there as well. Navigations officer. And our main engineer station is over here on the right-hand side. That's where the engineer spends all his day doing his stuff. Then we have pilot and co-pilot positions. There's very little glass in this. And as you can see, there's just tons upon tons upon tons of buttons. And everything looks really, really nice, right? It looks really nice. So what we have with the aircraft, they've also some nice sounds here. So we're currently loaded in cold and dark. This is the GNS 530 option, right? Here's our little weather scope. And looking around the cockpit, well, you can see, look, it's all the old analog era. It's beautiful. Beautiful textures here, modeling work. That's absolutely stunning. The 707 look, right? Yeah, there's a Jax as well. Good man, Elric. Elric won't fly a plane unless there's a Jax in it. You can go into the Jax. You can't fuss the Jax, but there is a Jax. They've modelled the Jax, which is great to see. You know, 1960s Jax. You know what I mean? 2 of them, though. So what we have here, I mean, you can see it, lads. There's beautiful detail gone into this aircraft. Now, one of the standout features is the EFB. Now, this livery gives you the Aer Lingus logo on the top, but you can click into your EFB and go into the 707. And what we have, this is the flight engineer station. And what we can do with the flight engineer, we can turn them on or off, and we can say, okay, go through my cockpit prep, before start, after start, basically all your main phases of flight. And your engineer, automatic monitoring, he'll do all of these things for you, which is great. Or you can do them manually. You have door control, open and close all your doors. We have our data cards. This is where we're going to get our takeoff, landing, even our EPR thrust information is going to be in there as well. And we can set the bug, set the trim. Excuse me. And then we have our options. The app theme, it can go day or night, altitude selector, HSI behavior, and a number of other different options here. In-flight callouts, checklist flow, takeoff, climb, throttle assistance. You can turn them all on or off, which is pretty cool, right? So familiarization with the aircraft over the pilot's head. There are some things here that's important, but again, because you have a flight engineer, not an awful lot happens up here. You kind of set it, forget it, and that's done, right? The main jigsaw lives over here, and this is the flight engineer station. And on the station, we have a couple of different areas. We have our overhead, and then we have a number of different panels here as well. So we'll start with some power in it. There's our battery on, right? So we can see we have our AC power, DC power. We have all our circuits, right, for our generators. Moving across, then we have our air conditioning system. We have our engine bleeds. We can also see some pneumatics over here as well. Temperature, we have our air system there. Crew compartment, auxiliary heaters, and so on. Cabin air conditioning is there. Next up, we have a very sophisticated fuel system. Kanzui is here. Good to see you, bud. 52 months of watching some dude press buttons in his creative space. What's not to like? Or lobe, indeed. Kanzui, thank you very much indeed, buddy. Hope you're well, mate. Kanzui, are you going to manage to get to Bristol, I wonder? I hope you can. I hope you can. So the fuel system, this is pretty cool. They put a lot of work in this. We have booster pumps for all our main tanks, and you can see the quantities on these as well once we put power in. Now I want to put power into this machine. So we're going to skip over here and come down to our little APU. This is where our auxiliary power unit is. We're going to turn on the master switch, right? And we're going to press and hold start, and we're going to see our RPM rising. I don't think I can. Have a look. I did have a look into it. Okay, no worries. Now we'll hear the APU fire up. There's really nice sounds in this aircraft. So there's our APU sounds, right? Aren't they really nice? So with the APU, once we know it's available, we're going to come on down here and turn on the APU generator and get the bleeds turned on here as well. So we can see we're getting a little bit of the owl ampage. And we should be able to now turn on our systems to receive our APU power. So we can see APU power is connected. This is where it has this paralleling. This is very interesting stuff. This is all automatic, of course, in new aircraft. But when we go into paralleling, This is where you kind of sync the frequencies of your AC, DC, CPS, all of this. It was a manual thing that you had to do, right? Sai120, good to see you. Who's going to Bristol? We'd love to meet up on the Saturday night. I think there's a lot of us going, so yeah, if you can make it, awesome. Don Waldy, good to see you. But yeah. Let's have a look here now. So fuel systems, let's see, we'll turn on our booster pumps on our 4 engines. And let's have a look now. So load selector, sticker on battery. So we do have DC power. Engines are off. Breakers are off. Bleed air is on. We can turn on the air conditioning and you see and hear all of this ticking over. Like there's quite a good bit of depth to this aircraft. It isn't like Control E and away you go, right? And we can turn that off. If you want the Control E experience, that's where your flight engineer is going to be. You know what I mean? Aviator Keeks, good to see you, bud. Welcome, welcome. So what else do we have here? There's other stuff. I still need to learn this, but I was pleasantly surprised with just how good this aircraft was. I think when the 707 first released, I wasn't terribly happy about it. It wasn't inviting to go and learn it, if that makes sense. So we'll go ahead and put our AC pumps on here as well. So when it comes to the aircraft, well, we're using the GNS 530. Go ahead and turn this gadget on. We also have our weather radar here that we can turn on. Down the road, we have our flight director and autopilot mode switches. I need to relearn all of this. I don't know why they say INOP because that's our nav radios, but I'll figure that one out for sure. Up the hill here now, we're going to turn on our avionics. Radio bus 1 and 2. We have all our internal lighting switches, which is pretty cool. Other things we can have a look at here now. We have anti-ice, don't worry about it. We will go ahead and turn on some lighting. So we have our exterior lighting, nav, beacon, wing. Nose wheel can come on here as well. Yaw dampener probably won't work. Well, it might. No smoking, seatbelts, and armed emergency lights. Passenger oxygen can be activated later on in the flight. And then we have some other options here with our inboard and outboard emergency flap switches. Flight recorder can come on. There's a lot of cool stuff here, and the sounds are quite good, right? With the GNS, the radios won't work. Aha, gotcha, okay. So they're in off because we're using the GNS. That makes sense. Thanks for the clarification. So what I want to do now, I just want to start up the engines just to give you a listen of it. Will we try and start them up for the crack? I hope this works now. We'll find out together. So we have our engine start switches up here on the top. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we'll try engine 1.
Engine start valve open.
So we're going to monitor our N2 rotation. And you'll hear them saying, hey, you've just done a thing with the yoke. Right? 15%.
15% N2. Lever to start.
Okay, so they want us now to open up our fuel valve, which is here. And we bring it up 1 click to start. Now we're going to see
oil pressure rising.
Oil pressure, of course, and then N1 is going to start rising here now as well.
Starter release.
And it's very much listening to the sounds here. I think they're quite good. Okay, here comes our N1.
50% N2. Lever to idle.
Up to idle. And we'll go ahead and close engine number 1. Number 2 start up.
Engine start valve open.
Same crack again. We'll have a listen to these because I think they're quite impressive, to be honest.
%, N2. Lever to start.
They've done studies, 60% of the time it works.
Every time.
Every time.
Lovely sounds.
Oil pressure rising. Starter release.
That's a big 10-4, good buddy.
Whoa, Soaring AJ, Tier 3, 67 months. Thank you very, very much indeed. Soaring AJ, cheers, buddy.
50% N2.
What a
lever
ledge.
to idle.
Lever to idle. Thank you very much indeed, Soaring AJ. All right, close 2, go number 3.
Engine start valve open.
Same crack again. So although it might be as confusing as BJanie to figure this machine out, it's actually not that complex to get it up and running. Navigation is where it gets
15%
tricky.
N2. Lever to start.
And the autopilot is where it gets a little bit tricky. So, number 3 is spooling up. Didn't the US Air Force use parts of these engines for the 707 to keep off the B-52s? Really? I don't know.
Starter release.
And again, look at the beautiful textures here. It looks really nice, doesn't it?
50% N2. Lever to idle.
Yep, you devil. So we've 3 engines now running. Any more hype trains? The B-52 had 8 of these engines. No way. Stubby's here, good to see it. Okay, and now engine 4.
Engine start valve open.
Pretty cool, right? We're looking good.
15% N2. Lever to start.
Okay, introduce some fuel. Like, look at the detail, lads. Isn't it
Oil
gorgeous?
pressure rising. Starter release.
Alright, starter's closed. And then we'll put them to idle once they're ready to rock.
50% N2. Lever to idle.
Your fuel valves are a 2-stage. Start or idle, right? So all our engines running, we're going to head back here now to our engineer station, and this is where we need to close off these circuits. So we'll close 1, 2, 3, and 4. Yeah, that's right. Do I treat them or close them? I think I just close them. AC. Engine bleeds. What else? We can now go onto our generator. Gens are working. And then we have our residual volts here as well. See the lights flickering? How cool is that? All our pumps are on, the hydraulics are on, oxygen system's on, supply on. This is for our flight recorder. Right. Jesus, Mr. Anderson, thank you very much. Does this make Murph an engineer, right? 100%. Mr. Anderson, thank you very much indeed, buddy. What do I want to do here, look? I don't think there's anything we can play with here. A couple of light switches, that's about it. The flaps will move to next. 14, 25, 40, or, 50. Look at that wing view. Yeah, this is the one, Sim Captain Mikey. Like, there's quite a lot of stuff going on with this airplane. And it's beautiful. Now, if you're unsure with what you've just done, well, this is where your flight engineer can really help you out. So if we go into our after start checklist, we're going to turn this guy on and just watch what happens.
After start checklist. Engine start switches. Off and guarded. Engine start levers. Set to idle. APU bleed valve. Closed. Engine generators.
See the way it's going through these for you?
Checked and on. Essential power selector. Set to 3. Engine 2, 3, and 4 turbo compressors. Started and checked. Galley power. On. Fuel boost pumps. Is on. AC auxiliary pump 2. On. Hydraulic pumps. Checked and on. Interconnect valve. Off. Air conditioning. On. APU master switch. Set to off.
So you can hear them like... You can hear and see them going through all of this.
After start checklist. Completed.
Right, then we go to taxi.
Taxi checklist. Taxi lights. On. Essential power selector. Set to 3. Probe heat. On. Transponder. Turned on. Speed brake lever. Pull forward. Galley power. On. Fuel boost pumps. On. Fuel heaters.
Can they say that's the voice of a real 707 engineer? Don't know.
Set to 14 and green lights.
You're missing the EFB. Shift E, I think, is default,
Set
isn't it?
to 1.5 units. Altimeter. Set to 105. Taxi checklist. Completed.
How cool is this? So, like, you can literally fly this aircraft using the flight engineer to help you, right? So, maneuverability. And again, we're going to focus on sounds here. Off the brakes. Roll forward. And just have a listen to the sounds. Is it now? Great sounds of this machine, man. Sounds really good. But it looks really good as well, doesn't it? It's phenomenal. For the price, lads, you're getting, like... That's the thing. You're getting a remarkable aircraft. So before takeoff, let's go ahead and get these.
Before takeoff checklist. Air compressor 3. Off. Coolant air valve selector. Set to temperature control. Pressurization mode selector. Set to flight start. Strobe lights. On. Landing lights.
Like, isn't that brilliant?
Extended and on.
It does all of this for us.
Before takeoff checklist. Completed.
So there's a before takeoff checklist. We'll take off here now, and hopefully this all goes well. We're here in Malta, by the way. Alright, give us a turn here. Get ourselves lined up. Centre line. That was a little bit off. So our engineer is looking after all our stuff, right? So let's see what happens here. So bring ourselves to a stop. And let's go fly. Alright, power coming in. And stable and toga. The sounds. Alright, let's see what happens. Our speed is alive. There's 120.
V1.
V1. Rotate. Yepsy daisy. Positive rate of climb. Gear coming up. Look at the smoke out of the engines. The anti-Greta. Brilliant! Alright, watch your trim. Make a small left turn here over the harbour. Flaps in. Isn't it gorgeous? 15 bucks, lads. Like 15 bucks. iniBuilds and working title. What, hats off to the man. Isn't it savage altogether? Absolutely great work from them. Incredible work from them. And it is an aircraft you can spend a lot of time learning, figuring out what makes it work, what it doesn't. You know what I mean? So after takeoff checklist.
After takeoff checklist. Landing gear. Up and set to off.
What a machine.
Off checklist. Completed.
And then we go into our normal flight. We can go into our descent prep. Like all the checks are there. This is genius. Like all the checks are there. So if you're interested in picking up, you know, a very large gig now, but a classic one at that, you absolutely can. You absolutely can. So that is the 707. We'll do a stream in it because I want to do some. I want to do some of the old SIVA flights with this as well, just to give it a blast. I've done that over in X-Plane, so I want to do it in Microsoft Flight Sim as well. Yeah, the older Aer Lingus one would be pretty nice as well to have, D-White. Absolutely. So what we'll do, we'll power down this unit because I want to show you. I want to show you the airport where we are at. Because, lads, you may have seen this already on other content creators' channels, but we're going to be checking out a preview of the upcoming iniBuilds Malta, right? And they've been working on this. So, Malta, delighted to officially unveil the next project, which is that, located in the heart of the Mediterranean, Malta International serves as the island nation's only commercial airport and a vital gateway connecting Europe, North Africa, and the Middle East. Despite its relatively small footprint, Malta offers a unique blend of airline operations, military history, and amazing coastal approaches that have made it a favourite. The iconic approach over the Maltese coastline to its distinctive terminal architecture and bustling apron activity, Malta is an airport full of character. And then we have all the behind the scenes work, and this is where iniBuilds gets fierce interesting, because this is where their lads go out and actually visit the places and they learn about it. And this is where you can learn about the story behind, well, why did they go here? What were they checking this one out? Like, it's really cool. Ubaid gave us a great insight into all of this. And when they, you know, they go out, here's the real world pictures when they're walking around and checking it all out. It's absolutely brilliant to see, right? So this is coming out very soon. Check the bar, Murph. Let's have a look. Oh, look at that from Stu Snape. Whoa, B-52 look. Stu, you have some savage photos, man. It's an old photo, so don't judge. Really cool, man. Really cool. So we're going to have a look here around of what we can expect from the upcoming... hang on now, my frame rates are a little bit on the slow side. There we go. From the next airport from iniBuilds. And there's tons of stuff. There's tons, right? So the buildings, the layout of the airfield, commercial, yes, but also military, right? There's the old military stuff. Ryanair actually have a maintenance facility here, and you can actually see it on the building, look. We'll ramble on down here. Keep me honest, lads. Make sure everything's looking nice and clear and whatnot. So here's the Ryanair building. We got some private aircraft here as well. And the idea is, I mean, it looks dated, right? We need an Airbus in that retro livery. Like, a lot of the buildings here look jaded and well textured. I mean, Mediterranean sun and all that. You know what I mean? They've added in a load of kind of static aircraft here as well. Textures all the way around. The amount of objects that we have, like, you'll see it here. Fuel trucks, fuel depots, right? A global for teaser, right, man? Super tight. Nothing gets by you. Solar panels out here by the road and got all our fencing there. Now, it is pre-release, so if we see anything kind of weird or wonderful, lads, don't worry. It's pre-release. iniBuilds are very quick at getting all these updated. But it's to give you a sense of scale of the airport and all the buildings around it, and, you know. Beautiful, right? Loads of different buildings here. General aviation, of course, over the far side of it. Very, very nice, cool, and like very different looking. You can't mistake it. It is Malta. You know, by the layout and the style of the buildings here. You know, Garmin are here, of course. MCM maintenance. Executive Aviation Malta, right? And it's quite a big facility. Lufthansa are here as well, right? Tons of detailing. There's building work going on here as well that we can see. EasyJet have... do they? I wonder, do EasyJet still have that depot here? I imagine they do. Malta, of course, have very favourable tax rates, but a couple of private jets over at the side here as well. So it's all kind of maintenance facilities. Over by the runway, we also have the usual array of iniBuild stuff, custom weather socks, all this kind of jazz. I want to move you over here. This is where it gets interesting. So we have some fire training stuff over by yonder. Look at the really old livery look. Here's a jet engine and a wing. Now we're over to the old military side of the fence. Here, of course, is a working radar. We have a couple of billets. We have a main radar system over here as well. If we ramble up a little bit closer, like, isn't there there's just tons of detail around the place, isn't there? Tons upon tons upon tons of detail. It's a cool little airport to go exploring around. We've got a control tower here with an interior. Right. Can anyone name that machine? I can bear it. Well done, Super Tie. More solar. Bob. His name is Bob. Brilliant. More solar there. Pink textures, so that'll be reported back to them. That's just reflections not working or something. So that's the military side, but we keep moving across. Then a lot more general aviation stuff here, right? And maintenance hangars. Got a couple of King Airs parked up here. And like, there's loads of detail inside the hangars as well. They're not just like empty buildings. There's tons of stuff here, like. Pink textures were fixed. Hey, Captain Canada, good to see you, buddy. Welcome in. Hope all is well, bud. But yeah, this is my first time checking it out, and it's cool. Like, it's a great any airport, I think, that you can fly your airliner into, and then you can use it as like a general aviation hub. I love these, because fly in with your airliner, then head her on out in a chopper or fixed wing and just go exploring the area. In Malta, the island, I mean, it's not massive. There's 2 bits of an island to it. The history is absolutely nuts. Savage history. But you can see here from the work from iniBuilds, it is a large scenery because, well, there's tons of stuff going on with all the different kind of, all the different features of the airport. And like, we ramble out roadside where we would see things if we were coming to the airport itself, right? Loads of parked cars and all the detail coming in. Just, you know, you'll see it here, look. And this is where iniBuilds is really smart when it comes to the sheer amount of objects they can pop into their sceneries, because they use the LOD. So if you're seeing things popping in, popping out, I'm using a drone cam, so it'll be faster than what your aircraft will be doing or generally walking. You know what I mean? But we'll ramble over. So tons of stuff going on. There's a man looking at something on the ground. So the main airport, look at that, man. Isn't that class, isn't it? That is class. So we'll ramble into the airport. Shugunk. Here we go. Have an old gawk around here. Observation deck signage. There's people out having an owl ramble. Jeez, it's busy down here. We have all our check-in areas. It's pretty cool, isn't it? And there's more to explore as well. Like, I mean, if we ramble up and out and we go in, I love the architecture of the building. Isn't it class? Isn't there, like, there was an area? There's like it was like the garden, they call it. There it is. There's a little garden. It's in the VIP terminal. There it is. There, look. Ew. Like, wouldn't this be just a lovely place now for plane spotting? Having a pint or a bit of lunch waiting on your flight. Pretty cool, isn't it? But you get the idea. Like, the terminal is fully modelled, full interior. You can go in and just go exploring. And there's lots and lots of stuff to see. They've got a Hard Rock Cafe? No way. Isn't it mad, isn't it? Mugan said, just purchased the 707. Cannot get it when it's 9:39. No way. Really need to make a more formal account on chat here. Ini Kyle. Brilliant. It's good to see you, mate. But yeah, so we've got tons of stuff here. Tons of stuff. Now, what's cool about iniBuilds sceneries, it's one thing looking at them during the day. Jeez, there's loads of places to explore. It's one thing looking at it during the day. If you go nighttime mode with a bit of weather, this is where this thing gets absolutely nuts, right? So we'll turn on a bit of weather here. And give us an early shot of rain there. Because this is where the thing gets absolutely nuts. Right? Bradley, good to see you. You're going to Bristol? Get out of town. Jeez, that's a long flight. You're going to Bristol, dude? That's awesome. We get in on Friday, so there'll be dinner and pints somewhere, buddy. Look at the reflections here. You get look at that. iniBuilds are just the masters of this. Look at those reflections, man. That is savage, isn't it? Now, we want to go to some of the... Let me see. We go this side. Like, isn't it only savage? They do a phenomenal job with the lighting and the reflections. Cool. Tons of other buildings surrounding the airport, and the harbour is there as well for good measure. Even some road signages. Ooh. Kitchen open all hours. Nice. Let's ramble over to the other sides of the airport. Again, this is where you're seeing all the different lighting and all the jazz coming together. More custom buildings, look. And they've included parts of the logistics as well. Like, look at that, look. Look at the views, look. With those reflections, isn't that incredible, isn't it? That is very cool. And then over this side, just the lighting in general, I think, is really nice. Over by EasyJet and Lufthansa, again, you're getting an idea of how well that lighting works. Isn't it gorgeous, lads, isn't it? Beautiful, beautiful work. And this is pre-released. They haven't released this yet. Coming soon, though. Lighting is absolutely gorgeous. iniBuilds excel at this stuff now. Like, when I look at any of their sceneries, it goes better and better and better. And I imagine they're probably using the new lighting that's available to them as well, because, like, it's so more accurate. What do you think? Do we like? It's very interesting. So, that is iniBuilds Malta. Not yet released. It's coming soon, though. I would expect to see it fairly soon. And, yeah, looks fantastic, doesn't it? Great destination to go flying. Again, we can get somewhere that has an airline and then general aviation. Like, what a way to go. The only thing about Malta is possibly the terrain around it. There's no photogrammetry there. The mesh looks pretty okay. You know, we're not too bad looking. It'd be great to get photogrammetry from Malta. I imagine it can't be that straightforward. Valletta, I think, isn't that the major kind of spot? The famous walls and all this kind of stuff. I mean, that's where all that lives. You know what I mean? So it's kind of, yeah, the default area, or what the sim is able to produce for the area, wouldn't be top drawer stuff. But the airport is particularly good. The airport is pretty good. And they included, as I said, Out of the Rain. They included, you know, all our landmarks down here with the harbour and all this. Looks pretty nice. Just Roy is here. Good to see you, Roy. Happy Wednesday. Insta buy from me, says Dave. Yeah, Malta's pretty cool looking. iniBuilds just make nice things. They just do. Like, that's pretty decent there, I suppose, with the cliffs. Considering it's like whatever mesh it's fed. It's not bad. Sure, it's not. Not bad at all. Right, we're going to move on because what is live weather doing here actually in the sim? There's all the fish and stuff. I didn't even see that, look. Look at all this. tons of stuff. So live weather. I imagine we're in the Mediterranean. There's not going to be much live weather, but it does look nice and pretty. But I want to go somewhere now because we're going to have a bit of a tech demo. We're going to compare. We're going to compare some utilities here, right? So I'm going to load into the A220 because this received an update. And as I said, like this is like the performance update I needed. Absolutely brilliant, right? I want to head on over to mobile. Is it pronounced mobile or mobile? I don't know. It's Drzewiecki KBFM. KBFM. Mobile downtown or mobile, right? On over the hill. Yep, you did it. Mobile. I thought it was mobile, yeah. Mobile. Oh, Jesus, lads, you're a great bunch of lads, huh? Parking, ramp, GA large. Where do we even go in this airport? Hang on now. We'll go right here. And we'll go live time and real weather. And let's load in. So this scenery is the Airbus factory, the home of Airbus in the United States. It's from Drzewiecki Design. These guys, of course, we remember they brought us all the Boeing factories. Incredible detail. They even showed us like, a manufacturing plant and so on, which is absolutely deadly, right? Sky Camry, good to see you. I don't have a price on it just yet, buddy, but it'll be kind of your normal kind of iniBuilds release, launch kind of thing, right? Did that screen just go completely blank there for a second, did it? Interesting. What's going on here, Chief? No, we look okay. If it's in Alabama, it's Mobile. I was thinking that. Malta looks amazing. What I would love them to do is do a Bergamo. Oh, yes. So here we are with the A220. And straight away, I noticed just its performance is 100 times better. It's 100 times better. I've no issues with performance with this update. And just to give you an idea of what they've actually worked on with this version. The systems they've added N1 preview, the ability to insert as waypoint from the FMS fix, added ability to insert runways, the fixes, which is important, the ISI performance, VHF V references, updated the out-of-date magnetic variation database, the fixed V path, the fixed direct to course drawing, they fixed the entering V in the transponder, fixed the terrain overlay being available, they fixed cabin pressure. There's been a lot of fixes here, which is class. So yes, it's just, before I was always getting heavy FPS. It was still flyable, don't get me wrong, but it just felt noticeably heavier than what it should have did the A220. You know what I mean? But thankfully that's now working better. So we're here at the airport, and a quick look around. I picked up this earlier on myself because I do like the Drzewiecki Design scenery. And this one is just interesting, right? It is a commercial airport, but of course it is home to Airbus in the United States. So we'll go in and have an old ramble around, right? Proudly making aircraft in the USA. Now, it's not as detailed, if you like, as what we saw from the Boeing plants in terms of looking at, you know, the production line, but there's still plenty to see here from all the different hangars. You'll notice we've all sounds. So anywhere you go, you've all the different sounds of the different facilities or maintenance bays and so on and so forth, right? And it is a huge facility. Like, this is a massive facility. Same crack again, more aircraft. There's Jemima and Phil. And then we can see various stages of the putting it together process. You know, you drive in the main gate, and there we have it. So here's stuff arriving to the factory. Now the difference with this one is doesn't seem to be animation happening here, but it does look pretty nice, right? So we drive in by the factory and past security, and we head, and then you just get like a scale of how big this place is. It's massive. Yeah, the Renton scenery was amazing. Like, that gave us a full production line. You know what I mean? We don't get the production line here, and it cost me like $20, €20 for this. There is a hangar interior, but nothing going on. But you can notice the sounds. It's pretty cool, right? It is cool. And then we're looking out over at the rest of the field. Tons of aircraft, all doing their stuff. You got our cargo terminals here as well. And then we have the passenger terminal, which is modelled. It's just awesome, right? It's just awesome. This is a great airport. Bit of LOD coming in there now. But we can ramble into the terminal. And it's nicely done. Plenty of stuff, plenty of places to go exploring. Baggage claim area. And there's loads of sounds. Loads of sounds. It's pretty nice, isn't it? It's a nice airport. But you get an idea of the scale. Isn't it friggin' massive, look? I mean, this is it. This is the airport. It's a big facility and all the buildings around it. Everything from our cargo buildings down here. Logistic parks and all the stuff, right? And then moving into the main airport then, all the buildings, the older buildings, of course, which are available, which you can see. Beautiful decals on the hangars. It's nice, it is. It's a very pretty airport. Somewhere interesting, and like where you're located here, ideal to be flying your Airbus aircraft in and out of the facility. Like ideal for it. And there's tons of other stuff here, look. There's the Airport Authority building. And there's photogrammetry in the area as well, which just makes the whole place come to life. It just looks better. Photogrammetry makes the world look better. So Drzewiecki did a great job kind of, adding this all in, didn't they? Because it just fits into the scenery. Is that? I don't know what that is. Is that a church? Looks like a church, doesn't it? So this is the scenery. As I said, I saw this on the news. Must be 2 weeks ago or so, and I was like, "Jesus, this is actually pretty cool, right?" Again, we'll have a quick look at the lighting. Give it all a moment. Oh yeah, yeah, it's beautiful lighting. It just is. Lovely and clear. This is going to become the main airport for mobile instead of the existing KMOB. Aha. There's a man directing traffic. And then you can see into the interiors and all this. It's pretty cool, isn't it? It is pretty cool, I think. And the lighting is gorgeous. But we're not just here for the airport or the aircraft or indeed the lighting. We are trying to figure out the weather, right? And we're going to spend some time now on weather. So this is the current live time and live weather. There we go. This is all coming through from Asobo. And what we can see here, yeah, we get a little bit of kind of haze in the horizon and the lighting looks pretty good. There's a big kind of a formation of clouds there. I don't know if it's a convective, but it certainly looks like it. And we got these nice kind of swizzle lines and whatever else in there. This is a pretty nice looking scene. So the question now comes into, right, okay, are we looking now at weather injectors? And we've two options. And a lot of people are asking me, what's the better one? So, well, I'm gonna launch them, right? Because I have two of them. So I'm going to launch first Strata. Now, Strata weather is an interesting one. Render real weather modeled and injected, right? And it loads it all in. It says there's thunderstorms. I've all the settings turned on. The transitions are, I saw an update regarding the transitions. They're set to glacial, so it's going to be slow. So look at the change now. This is what Strata is reading in terms of the weather. And it's very much a different scene based on what the default weather was giving us. All right? Very much a default scene. Now, you might be looking at the clouds thinking, yeah, they look really, really nice. But I blame Simblitz. I still blame him. Lovely fella. Amazing content. If you're not following on YouTube, make sure you follow Simblitz. He did a video and he figured it out, whereby if you're using a weather engine and just the weather engine, you're missing a trick. See that horizon? Something just doesn't look natural about this. It just doesn't look right. Sure doesn't. You see that weather pop in? That's where Strata, that is, I think, the Achilles heel. See the way it's like loading in the weather? And see the way it's just changing now? And that's, I think, it's Achilles heel, regardless of how I'm putting the settings in. That is what happens with Strata. No matter how much I do it, that is what happens to Strata. See the clouds moving? So for a lot of people, that can be a total immersion breaker because it's how it's loading or updating the weather. It pops in, right? If you were to look at the UX, it's very modern. Like this thing has lots of potential, lots of potential. There's thunderstorms in the area. We do get a weather radar map. We have all additional information in here, including winds aloft and so on. It does turbulence. It doesn't do wake turbulence. That's on its roadmap. So it doesn't do wake turbulence. But we can see what's happening at the airport. The UI is fresh. It's snappy. We can inject live weather. We can create or load in historical weather. Or indeed, we can go sandbox mode and create our own. Or we can go into hybrid. That'll inject live wind, temperature, and pressure. But we get to shape the sky. We can say what sort of clouds, it's a nice feature to have. If you look at the UX, you're probably saying, yeah, it's very modern. It's AI modern, right? And I think that could be perhaps some of the limitations why things aren't working. It looks as if a lot of this is kind of auto code, right? But there's a lot of potential. A lot of potential with this, right? It's good to see that the AI struggle with pronouncing reasonable captions of what Murph is saying. Yeah, right. 100%, Mr. Lard. I recently bought Rex Atmos, so many sliders I got lost. Oh, we'll have a look at Atmos as well. I think Strata does a really nice job at depicting the weather. I mean, look at that scene now. That's a scene, lads. That is very different than what we were looking at. The formation of the clouds, the depth of the clouds, it's showing precip in the area. We're getting lovely sound effects. We can hear the wind. This is Strata. And if I were to turn off Strata, I'm going to keep the camera in the same location, right? There's a thunder strike. We'll keep the camera in the same location. There's the airport, right? And just remember this scene. I'm going to turn off Strata now, just like close it off completely. And we'll give this a few moments because that'll hand it back to Asobo. Asobo pulls in the weather, and then Asobo goes off and draws the weather. And you might be thinking, you know, Asobo does a great job with the weather. It does. It really, and it can look biblical. But where's the accuracy? You know, is it a case of set and walk away for a couple of minutes? Maybe. So let's just verify we're now on live weather. Live weather is set. So that is live weather. Give it a moment to re-download. That is the same scene, same time of day, same data feed, and that's what Asobo is drawing. Their source is Medio Blue, where the likes of Strata is using NOAA, the NOAA. That difference is night and day. It's night and day. What about ActiveSky? A lot of questions around ActiveSky. ActiveSky has been out for a long ass time. Let's fire up ActiveSky and let's see what ActiveSky is going to do to this weather. So again, we're going to keep the camera where it is. ActiveSky will connect in, load in what it needs to, and then start injecting it. ActiveSky does have, I think, a lot more control over how the weather is depicted, the updates, what's happening. And I'll go through its UX as well, or the UI, the interface, right? Strata is definitely easier. It's faster. It's you know, it's more responsive. So this is what ActiveSky has given me. Let it load. This is not running Rex Atmos yet, Big Al. This is just the weather generators, nothing else. So we'll give ActiveSky a few moments here. It's still loading. So see, it's not finished loading, downloading all the forecast, processing it. And you can see the UX is quite different here. But I just wanted to give me the weather first, and we'll see what the differences are. Here's ActiveSky. So it's now grabbed the weather. It ain't going to give it's not going to give me those kind of transitions and changes. It's not a million miles off what we had with Strata. Like, it's not a million miles off it. You might notice something though with my camera, and it is something I'm getting, but I also get it on Strata. I notice these weather injectors are causing stutters, micro stutters. I can't get my head around it, but it's definitely from the weather engines. Now this isn't bad. This has its own strengths. Again, it's depicting precip really, really well, right? Especially look at the darkness of the clouds as we move here further along. You definitely get more sense of scale. It is kind of getting the weirdness of, like, you know, the old kind of pixelated clouds, right? But overall, this is still a very dramatic, compelling picture of weather depiction. That's ActiveSky. Very different than Strata, but you get the sounds, you get the lighting, you get the cloud formations, right? And again, if we look through all the settings, if we go through all the settings, so we can see the layout here. It's quite old. This is very kind of FSX P3D days. We have our weather control. We can go live, we can go historical, or we can go to a custom preset. Very similar. They also give us a map in which we can see where weather is doing, and we can read the clouds and all that kind of jazz. So if we move up to where we are, this is where our aircraft is. We can zoom in and we can start pulling in some information. This is giving you a live weather map. This is pretty cool. This is pretty cool because you can really go in and see, well, look, is there precip in the area? Load in the map and you'll see it. There's all your precip. It's slower. It's a little bit more clunky, but it's very powerful. It is very powerful. And you can see things like wind shear, winds, any warnings and all the jazz. We can get all our information regarding the current conditions. It's a full breakdown, and we can connect our flight plan to it and all this kind of stuff. When it goes into our options, this is where it gets bananas. The download interval, force data net, prevent downloads on approach. Like, you can clone the weather, you can sync it to VATSIM weather. There's an awful lot more options with ActiveSky. Now, you have an option for that, Fornac. So Fornac says, ActiveSky terrible in certain conditions. ActiveSky shows CAV OK because METAR says CAV OK, i.e. no clouds. There can still be overcast 6000, which ActiveSky doesn't show. So it's funny you mentioned that. You do have a simulator, or you do have an option in here. So if you go to your cloud options and you go down to add clouds for CAV OK, when enabled, additional cloud layers over 5,000 feet base will be created when appropriate, regardless of METAR. So if they're giving you, if you get the METAR saying, you know, CAV OK, there's no clouds, right? You can tell ActiveSky, you give me a few above 5,000 feet though. So if you're struggling, Fornax, hopefully that's your solution, right? It's in the options, under cloud options, add clouds for CAV OK. Hopefully that helps, right? But you can see by it, there's a lot more tinkering tools here with ActiveSky versus that of Strata. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to close ActiveSky. We're going to let a Sobo load back in because, as I mentioned Simblitz earlier on, I blame him because he's the reason I've reinstalled Rex. Rex is the second bit of the jigsaw. Really, it is. Your weather engine and then Rex. So let's make sure we're loading in default live weather. So this is a Sobo depicting that weather scene, right? Now I want to show you what Rex can do. Now people might get a little bit confused when they download Rex and they install it. They're like, oh, there's too much going on. We're going to simplify it. And Cyrus T and Stu Snape helped me out something fierce with this. All you need to do, go and grab different profiles and you pretty much set it and forget it. That's it. You can even auto load this. But I'm going to show you some of the options here, right? So this is now the difference of Rex with default weather, but we can tweak it. We can tweak it, right? So if we go into our weather, we can go create now, search for a weather set. The one the lads told me to do was AB MSFS, and make sure you tick search public sets. See here, AB MSFS. It's version 3 or something. Is it V3? Search. I forget it's something like that, but maybe it's just AB MSFS and they'll tell you it's version 3. There we go. Excessively salty. You absolute legend. So we'll horse that in there, look. Search. There it is. So what you do, you can go ahead and inspect it with a little eyeglass, or we can go in and edit it, or you can save it as a favorite. I've saved the AB presets as favorites, and then they'll come in here. Now, if I wanted to, I want to show you what I can do with the weather. I'm going to go off and create my own one. Now, I want to modify live weather. We have the option, you can go by the meter, you can go by custom, or you can go by live. I want to modify the live. Now, I'm going to move this guy just over here so we can actually have a look at that scene behind us. So look what I'm doing here. The weather impact, just by using Rex, and this is the default weather. This is Asobo's weather. Look what I can do. The scale of the weather, I'm going to increase it to about 140. Do you see what that does? That instantly changes what we're looking at in the sim. Instantly changes. I now have the ability to enhance default live weather, and you can do that with Rex. And you can see it changed the scale of the clouds. It added more in. It basically turned them from whatever level up to Bijani then. And that's just one setting. You can get lost with Rex if you want it. That's why I'd recommend the presets. We have these different modes. You have mode 2, mode 0, or mode 1. That's the weather impact scale. And if you make a mistake, just reset it. So we're going to bring it up a little bit. 140 was a little bit strong. Let's go 120. That's decent. Now we have the visual cloud enhancement. You see the difference? Look at the screen. And what this does, it exactly what it says on the tin. See the way now if we try and find that horizon line? You can't. And we've other settings that can further enhance that horizon line, right? And this is just using Rex. So you're using your default native Asobo weather, and you're just, you're tinkering. You're tweaking how the sites look like. And the pain in the ass element is, you want to be doing this for every flight. That's why if you use a preset, you set it and you forget it. You can also change the color luminance of clouds, make them darker or brighter. Buoyancy factor is how clouds move up and down. There's a whole load of stuff you can do with it, right? But that's just the weather. What about the atmosphere? Well, let's go in and create a new atmosphere. And this is where we can start messing. So if we look at things like, the scattering height, we can change all of this. Different colors. You're going to see like the depth of the atmosphere. See the way we're totally changing all our colors here. So tone mapping and all of this. We have a lot of control here. We can also change individual colors. If you want to fly in the red room and all this. Right? It's Rex Atmos Core. Rex Atmos Core. Good man, Eamon. Global illumination. So you can change your lighting, the white balance. I mean, you can really set up some dramatic scenes with this. Overall lighting, you can tune it up. It's friggin' nuts. That's the Atmos, they call it. Or we go to the environment. Now, the environment is pretty cool because this is where you fix, I think, everything, right? The environment will give you that kind of it just shows you that kind of line with the environment, with the horizon. Whereby you can't see it now. It doesn't render in the world 100 and odd thousand miles ahead of you. It's more realistic, right? And this is default weather with Rex. Now we go back to our view. Here we are at the airport. You can also use this in conjunction with the weather engines we just had a look at, right? So here was Murphy's attempt at messing with everything. I'm going to reset all of this stuff. I'm going to load in my own presets, which I do. So this is what I do. I'm just using the AB presets, right? So that's my weather. Now I'm going to load in Strata once again. So we'll let it load. Give it a few moments. And then Strata is going to grab all of this. Fetching weather for our position. And now it's completely changed it. As I said, we do have a weather radar here, but you can't do much with it. It shows you the weather radar, which is nice. Sprockets is called Rex Atmos Core. That's the name of it. Right? So here's Strata running with Rex. And it's obviously after getting a new update for the time, because that's a very different scene, isn't it? That's a very different scene. If we want, if we shut down Rex, close it off, and now this is whatchamacallit, Strata running on its own accord. Just Strata. If we compare it again, bring back in Rex, and just keep an eye on that screen. I won't even show you the UI. Focus on the screen. Now that's Strata loading in some rain. Don't worry about that. Well, Rex hasn't connected yet, so give it a moment. You'll see the screen change color tones, right? Takes a moment. Rex is just connected. Just in that very second, it said, boom, it's just connected. Isn't that pretty cool? I believe I Can Fly is here. Good to see you. So this is now Strata with Rex.
Oh, Jesus.
It is incredibly realistic looking. This is like, people talk about X-Plane. This is X-Plane level of cloudage, I think. The horizon and all of this, right? Hey, the Impossible Face, good to see you. The only thing is, it gives me stutters. I notice a couple of stutters. Look at the cloud layers. Like, it's really well done. It's really well done. Down to another cloud layer. And then here we go. And we still have our thunderstorms. Right? So that's our scene. Keep it up there, right? And like, you got this, like, look at this depth. Beautiful cloud formations over there in the distance. Doesn't it look fabulous, right? So what about ActiveSky in the same setup using, we'll get rid of Strata. We'll turn off Rex. That's Rex turned off. Strata will take a minute to reset itself. I notice it's a lot slower to release the sim. Sim takes a few moments extra to be able to grab it, right? But the idea here is, it's whatever one you think looks better for you. That's what you could do. Now we're back to default. This is a Sobo loading me in live weather and nothing else, right? So let's go grab ActiveSky once again. We'll give it all a moment to connect. It's going to take a minute to render in the weather. And we'll see what the crack is here now, right? Hopefully you're finding this stuff interesting, lads. And if you are in the market, you know, what one should you get? Strata Weather is $29.99 per simulator, be it 2020 or 2024. If you're using both sims, it's $35.99. That's your price. ActiveSky, if you want to grab ActiveSky, it's $24.99. So the pricing is very close. Very close. So ActiveSky has now just loaded the weather. You've seen the change, right? So this is now ActiveSky predicting the weather.
Hello there.
Right? And let's now go in and turn on Rex Atmos Core with this weather, right? If you're wondering about Rex Atmos Core, you can buy that directly from the Rex store. You can pick it up over on Sim Market or Just Flight and all that, right? If you go to the Rex store, you can pick up Rex Atmos Core for $14.50. Rex Atmos Core, it's $14.50. And now she's loading in. So this is going to be Rex. Make sure my favorites are turned on. Just bear with me. And these are the presets that I'm using. I just leave them on. So that's ActiveSky with this. Contrail, yeah, you can get on Contrail as well. The clouds at the top of the screen, yes. So you might say, who's doing a better job? Is it ActiveSky? Or is it going to be Strata? See how crap they look. Yeah, so that high level of Cirrus. Now when you say it's crap, it's because they're pixelated, yeah? It's because they're pixelated. Yeah. Now, we have the option of adding to that or taking it away, right? So again, this is where ActiveSky is very good. So if we go into our options, we go to cloud options, maximum cloud prevent, let me see, simulator depiction, cloud density adjustment. What else can we do? Download into, there's an option in here, I think, that we can add cirrus clouds. We can do the same visibility options. Maximum surface visibility. Let me see here now. Cloud density adjustment. She's on full whack. Enable direct wind control. Snow ground covers surface. Depict hurricanes. Yes. Depiction smoothness rate. Yes. I think there's options in here we can do it. I think. The pixelation you're trying to get rid of. So that, well, ActiveSky is going to give you far more options. With Rex, I'm almost certain with Rex we can dial this in. Let me go into this. Weather. And I can enable a different cirrus layer. Let's see if it does it. I don't think it'll do it on live weather. That pixelation you're seeing, I don't think I can. So if in doubt, let's close ActiveSky once more, right? We'll go back to our home viewpoint. So Big Al wasn't too impressed about those pixelated clouds up above, right? Transitions are way smoother in ActiveSky. You do not get that jittery loading mess that you get in Strata. That is the only thing I would say. Strata, as cool and as modern and all this nice things is, how it's transitioning the weather is not great. It's just not great. Now give Strata a moment to load everything, right? I think Strata has great potential, but I think ActiveSky is just more rounded, you know? Now let's give Strata a moment. It hasn't fully grabbed the weather yet, so let's give it a few moments. Takes a minute or two. It'll inject its last snapshot and then it loads it all in, right? So we'll give it a moment here. I'll make sure Rex is doing its stuff. So there's Rex coming in. And we'll get the bit of Strata stuff on as well. Just verify Strata is doing what it needs to. It appears to be fully in. There's the atmosphere profile. There's our weather radar. And there's the winds coming in. So this is now Strata coming in. Give it a moment just to load in the precip. So Al was saying about, you know, the weirdness of the clouds. I'm not seeing the same pixelated mess with Strata. Strata seems to be doing a better job at depicting the weather. It just is. ActiveSky gives you more control. Strata, I mean, I think the Strata scene is far nicer. I think it's more realistic. I think it's a more accurate depiction of what's actually happening here. And again, if we want to, you know, these pixelated clouds, Strata's smart because it knows not to draw them that far away. Are you still going to get pixelated clouds? Yep, of course you are. Why? Because it's drawing what the sim has, right? So it's still it's still loading its weather layers. You can see it doing its stuff. Rex can offset some of that pixelation. But there we have it. It's just a pity about the transitions with Strata. The good news, of course, lads, you know it, I know it, but they're going to fix all that. I mean, they are going to fix that, right? ActiveSky has been tried and trusted and tested for many, many years. They do a great product. I think it's solid. Strata is the new kid on the block, and when you mix Strata with Rex Atmos Core, I think that's what you're seeing here. This is giving you this. Wow, that looks pretty cool. You know what I mean? I think it's doing an amazing job. Even the lighting, how it bounces off clouds and all this. It's quite impressive, I think. Based on the weather that we're getting here. Sandman, good to see you. That haze that Rex is able to draw in there, like it is incredible. And we are between clouds, like there's still a level above us. Right? So you can see what it can do. The recommendation would be you would pick up one of the weather engines, a Strata or ActiveSky, right? But I still think you're going to need a Rex Atmos Core to gel them together. Simblitz did a friggin' awesome video on it, and he's the reason why I jumped back into this. I blame him for like getting nothing else done this week. Right? Papa Justify, good to see you. But I hope this has explained both programs together. The only challenge I have with Strata is the transition. Everything else, I think, is absolutely deadly with it. ActiveSky, I really like because it gives me more control. I have more control. That's the only thing that ActiveSky, its depiction of weather, they're using the same weather sources. They're both looking at NOAA and other, right? They're both using the same data. I think Strata does a better job at visually representing what's going on. Rex is the line or the layer of veneer over the entirety of it. You know what I mean? And Strata is only going to get better. It's new. It's only out a couple of months. ActiveSky is there for years. So it's up to you where you want to put your money. Strata is a little bit more expensive. It's $29.99 versus $24.99. But Rex Atmos Core, which has given me the ability to make everything here look absolutely gorgeous, that's $14.50 on its own, ex tax. Yeah, Strata has a beta branch. That's what I'm using now. But yeah. So that's what we have with the weather stuff. If you run ActiveSky and Strata, they won't work together. No. They won't work together, Al. Typical Al. Let's break the internet. Type Google into Google. No, they won't. But you'll either just get default Asobo or whichever one is updating first. You'll get performance issues. Definitely. Do you know? So that's Strata and ActiveSky, and kind of the hero underneath or above both of them would be running them in conjunction with the Rex Atmos Core. I think it's a game breaker or game changer, not a game breaker. It's a game changer, right? Now, before we go, we have one more thing to show you here this evening. It's a brand new add-on. It's another utility, and well, I thought it was interesting. I'll give you a look at it, right? It's called Wee Tune Beastie. Wee Tune Beastie, hey, right? And what it is a utility made available now over on Just Flight. It's priced at €14.99. It's an in-cockpit immersive audio companion for Microsoft Flight Sim 2020, 2024, and X-Plane 11 and 12. You can tune in live radio stations, soundtrack each phase of your flight. You can let the local METAR conditions shape your music vibes, and you can build your own custom flight events that respond to your aircraft and your route. Designed for pilots who want every flight to sound a little more alive and atmospheric. So you can build your custom flight sound events, right? You can customize live in your cockpit internet radio channels. You can use the route radio, so it'll change radio frequencies to like real world radio stations as you fly. You can upload your own, or not upload, you can just access your own music library, right? Enhance events with the active route monitoring and flight progress. And you can share or import flight event profiles with the community. and it has a few other bells and whistles, right? So we're on the ground here at the moment. This is our first page. These are all the different radio stations we can tune into, right? And these are local. These are going to be local to where we are because we can base that on it. We have our volumes, we have our flight events, and we have active flight. I've nothing loaded in right now. If you go to the second page, these are the radio stations, right? And these are the frequencies in which you can tune them in. Or you can go to either your internet radio or you can play music from your own music folder. So that's playing music from Epidemic Sound, right? So you can play your own stuff. Then your flight details. See this route radio automatically determine the flight phase. You can have certain music play during the different phases of your flight. So say, for example, the pre-flight. If you want a bit of kind of calm jazz music in the background, or you want like, this allows you to do all of that because it has broken down each of the different phases of your flight, right? Now you can run it on fully automatic, or you can say, no, hey, I'm now in the taxi phase. So it's going to say, well, right, what do you want to play? Well, it plays this one as basic. Right? Or if you're in your approach. So there's some nice music here. And it just plays in the background. That's the whole idea of this, right? Or you can use real world radio and tune it in. Other stuff then, we have the cabin moods. So for rain and showers or stormy weather. So you can see how it sets the scene. If it's going to be snowy or winter. And the important thing here is you can add in all your own music to this. It doesn't have to be what these guys are, right? I mean, you can go, do you want it to be internet radio or do you want it to go to your music folder, right? You can tune into any radio station in the world with this using the internet. It also comes with its own METAR identifier, which I thought was pretty cool. Where is this one now? There's a button here I need to find. Alison Johnson is in with the raid. Good evening, Alison. Welcome in, Raiders. Happy of the Wednesdays to you. Hope you're all keeping well. We're here checking out Wee Tune Beastie. So here's our METAR for mobile. And you can see it gives us some nice, wind overlays and stuff, right? Someone 24K, good to see you. Ali, hope you're well, missus. Hope you had a great stream. Welcome aboard. And we get the METAR and we can see, it's a nice kind of handy little tool in there. Flight events, we can add our own. Myself. You have a profile here, you can load them in. You can have sounds that are triggered based on a certain event. So for example, engines on.
Don't you just love the sound of an engine springing to life?
This kind of stuff, right?
That's a big 10-4, good buddy.
Here we go.
So just a shame when streaming all the license nerds. Well, there is Jesus. Alison Johnson, you absolute mad person. Jesus. Alison Johnson gifting 10 tier 1 subs to the community right here on the Twitch. And we got a resub from from QC Frank. Thank you, Frank. Stu Snape with a gifted sub, and Alison Johnson, and you started another friggin' hype train. Yous are nuts. Thank you very, very much indeed. Lads, you got a tier 1 sub, but thanks to Alison Johnson. Do be sure to say thank you. What a mad night of subbage. Yous are mad. Madness. Jeez. Madness, I say. Tonight's been live. Mad. What was I saying? Oh yeah. So some of the music it's licensed. It is licensed. The only issue you're going to have with other music if you tune directly into the radio stations. So any of the sounds you get with this, oh Jesus, there's more of it. Stu Snape, you devil! Bloody hell! Level 5 hype train. 5 gifted tier 1 subs coming in from Stu Snape, you absolute legend. Lads, you've got a tier 1 sub. Thanks to Stu Snape. Do be sure to say thank you. What a legend. So this music that comes with it, this is license free. I think it's nice. I mean, think about it. You just set this in the background. You go about your business. You know what I mean? You're just going about your business with the aircraft.
That's a big 10-4, good buddy.
You know what I mean? Ah, Jesus just subscribed. Hans Grover, thank you very much indeed for the gifted tier 1 sub to Jesus. Cheers, buddy. Thank you very much indeed. So the idea being is, you know, when you're flying along, this music will just do its thing. It'll pop up. And you can control, you know, how loud it's going to be, all that sort of stuff. How do you connect? How it behaves. All that jazz. Wee Tune Beastie. It's actually pretty ingenious. You can have the radio on in the background, of course you can, but like if you're doing your own flights and you'd like to have like different bits of music, this could be also a great idea. Like if you are flying, it's right, yeah, so its own tracks. Jesus! The tracks it comes with, Ali, is license free. If you're using radio stations, now you're going to have a problem because they're playing licensed music, right? That's where it gets a little bit tricky, but the music that comes with it has been created to be license free, royalty free. So all these sounds that it has built into it are for free. Goose, thank you very much indeed for 5 gifted tier 1 subs. Cheers, buddy. Lads, you've got a tier 1 sub, but thanks to Uniform Goose. And do be sure to say thank you. You're very kind, sir. Thanks a million. Like, put it this way, right? If you're flying along and you're thinking, Jesus, you know, you can use this now to help you along thinking, why has this song suddenly started playing? It'll trigger you to say, oh, I'm in the descent, you know, or I'm now cruising, or, you know, we've landed, the flight is over, you know, sim guy, Jesus, lads. And it can be your own music as well. I can go into my own music folder and I can say, well, look, that's looking at the Wee Tune Beastie stuff, but sure, I can go into my own look. I mean, go shuffle. This could play anything. You know what I mean? Sim Guy, 5 gifted tier 1 subs. Thank you very, very much indeed. Hey, lads, we got a tier 1 sub, but thanks to Sim Guy. Do be sure to say thank you. The man's a legend. So it'll play any music you have. It seems to be cutting in and cutting out. But it says testing, so maybe that's why. Right. Pretty cool though, right? Pretty cool. Isn't it mad? Technology. So it's called Wee Tune Beastie version 4. It's available over on the Just Flight website, priced at $14.99. That's where you can grab it. And yeah, I think it's pretty well put together. I like the features of it. I like the idea that you can have, you know, kind of this pre-flight music, or you can even have music triggered by weather, which I thought was pretty cool. You know what I mean? It's very, very cool. It's impressive. And yeah, save your changes, save your profile, it can run it in the background. It just does all that stuff. It just does all the stuff. So, yeah. Where was our scene? Here's the water behind us, so we're over here, weren't we? This is still Strata depicting the weather. Uncommon Seal, thank you very much indeed for the follow. Yeah, so this is still Strata running our weather. Change the time of day, Murph. So Strata and Rex Atmos Core. I mean, it's very impressive, this, isn't it? I mean, look at this. One important thing, Strata doesn't entirely get rid of the pixelated mess. I'm sure you can see it there, but it certainly does a lot better. My clouds are set to high, not ultra. SayIntentions have only gone and dropped the US and Canada version 3 voices. No way. Like, see the transitions we're still getting with Strata? That's the only thing I mark against them. Because if you're flying and you see this out the window, you're like, You know what I mean? That's an immersion breaker. They need to figure out that. Either their settings need to work properly where it doesn't bring these changes in. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's great news from SayIntentions. We're going to be flying in the US tomorrow in a 757 during the day. So we'll be checking out those voices as well. That's great stuff. Your approach into Boston was awesome. Oh, really? That's awesome. SayIntentions, boy, they just don't take a minute. They're constantly doing stuff. Where is this now? I don't even see it in announcements. Was it in announcements? Let's have a look. Uncommon Seal, thank you very much indeed for the subscribe. Cheers, buddy. Prime sub. You're very kind. Cheers, buddy. Where is this now? Did they even say it? Okay, so they just released it. They didn't even say no. That's crazy. So Canadian and North American. That's awesome. That is awesome. Incredible stuff. Lads, these are unbelievable with them friggin' hype trains tonight. Jesus. That's incredible support. Thank you very, very much indeed. They got a YouTube short in the video channel. Ah, okay, sweet. Let's have a look. A YouTube short in the video channel. In general? Where is this now? Changelog. ADSC is an option. We have added support for the automatic ADSC. When an aircraft successfully logs onto CPDLC, the network will now automatically issue ADSC periodic. Ooh, nice, nice. Content partner videos. SayIntentions just released a video.
Over to Cleveland Center on 125.425, American 3318.
FedEx 1329, hold is published at 4,500. Expect further clearance in 20 minutes.
Left at 315, 6,500 till established. Cleared ILS runway 34 right approach. Cargo is south 594.
Direct tower, thank you. United 362. Delta 8785, contact Salt Lake City Center 119.95.
United 1046, cleared for push and start.
Delta 396, winds 100 at 6, runway 17 right, cleared for takeoff.
118.7, Brickyard 2323, see ya.
Oh, they're good. Aren't they good? Let's hear them again.
Over to Cleveland Center on 125.425, American 3318.
FedEx 1329, hold is published at 4,500. Expect further clearance in 20 minutes.
Left at 315, 6,500 till established. Cleared ILS runway 34 right approach. Cargo is south 594.
Direct tower, thank you. United 362. Delta 8785, contact Salt Lake City Center 119.
They're really, really good.
United 1046, cleared for push and
Jeez,
start.
that's brilliant, isn't it? And they just released them there now. Aren't they mad, aren't they? Stu, I need to travel up north tomorrow evening, see your ram. Spent all my money here tonight. Send me a tenner. On the way, on the way. So when you subscribe, do you get those voices or you have to pay extra? No, you get them voices are included in the subscription. It's version 3 of the voices. Like they're just adding these voices out. What you can do with the add-on expansion, right? With the expansion stuff, it gives you a new voice recognition option. It's called Iris, and it gives you other features like Traffic Plus and a few other stuff there as well, Al. But no, I mean the voices that you're hearing, they push that out all the way across the network. And actually, a bit of science here. Let's see if we can do this before we go, because we should be able to hear this online. We go to the tracker website, right, and we're going to limit this to our view. Limit to the maps view. Turn it on. If you go to France.
361, taxi to terminal gate 106 via Echo 5 Golf Romeo Victor Sierra. Good day.
Not much happening in France, but let's give it a listen. Limit to the map view. That's how you do it. Sounds great. SayIntentions too costly as a sub. It's not going to be for everyone. Like it works. It's the price of a Netflix, but like if you're flying, if you're doing a lot of flying, I think it's worth it. It's whatever it is, like $18 a month. It's worth it, because if you're doing that level of flying between the, you know, air traffic control sequence, traffic injection, and then all the other bells and whistles that are all now in that platform, it is incredible. So it's not that you pay a sub and get default AI voices and then you have to pay extra. No. There's none of that. They had this credits thing there. I don't know what they're doing with that. They had it of old. There was a way to like get more and more. I think there were options for Entourage and whatnot. But once you subscribe to SayIntentions, you have access to the whole shebang. The whole shebang. Everything. And then there's an AI expansion for those who want that little bit more. You know what I mean?
Lufthansa 2078, being short, runway 26 left.
Lufthansa 2078, Munich Tower, runway 26 left, wind 2107, cleared for takeoff.
Now, they haven't released version 3, but let's go to the States. We'll try New York here. Where am I going?
20 minutes.
Jamaica Bay. Where the hell are you, Murph? That's JFK, isn't it? Yeah. Imagine if you got like Kennedy Steve, you know what I mean? Check the bar. Something in the 737 and you're a little bit shagged with. Your main map isn't showing properly. I've done something, I think. Are you saying that the tablet is stuck where you don't want it to be, Stu? Is that what we're saying? Kennedy Steve is a ground controller at JFK and SayIntentions. Yeah. Are you saying that the tablet is blocking your view? I think. Recently got SayIntentions, of course. More robotic and limited to flight plans via SimBrief. No, the plan isn't showing on your main display. Map is off. You have an electrical fault. Check your bleeds. Also check your generators. So you can see here in your ECAS you got an electrical fault. This screen has lost and your TCAS is off. That's what's wrong. You have a failure. Don't panic. But more VF4 and radar stuff coming. It's because my engines aren't started. I haven't pushed back yet. Your engines aren't started. Huh? It's definitely an electrical problem. One of your generators isn't on, APU isn't doing what it should be doing, or your ground power has been disconnected. 100% it's electrical power. You recently got Beyond ATC. Yeah, I mean, look, Beyond ATC is an option for a lot of people. I don't think it gets within a NASA's roar of what SayIntentions can do. It's a very interesting product, don't get me wrong. But SayIntentions, it's far more than just the ATC element. Beyond ATC are bringing in, VF4 stuff. But SayIntentions have been doing it for ages now, and it's very good. Their VF4 stuff is brilliant. They have TF4s, they have special VF4. They have all the visual approach stuff. It's SayIntentions. It's just better. It's just a better. It's a better product, and it comes down to they're able to have more scope with their product because it's server based. Hence the subscription model, because they're able to instantly push stuff into it. They're not worried about building it all up. Right, here's a release and then back to. They don't have those constraints, and that's because it's on a server or a subscription based model. Do you know what I mean? I'm on the APU. I'm just going to carry on and hope it comes to life. No, because it says there's an electrical problem. Beyond ATC are now slow with updates to put you off using them. Well, usually if they get slow with updates, they're working on stuff. But Beyond ATC, people just think it's a one-off cost. It is, but you're stuck with their voices. And if you wanted to get better voices, you need to use credits. You need to buy credits. You know what I mean? That's their model. I mean, it works for them, sure. But I think, where SayIntentions is that it's just different kettle of fish, lads. It is just very different, far more advanced. I mean, it's just class. That's all the traffic flying right now. That's human traffic. on SayIntentions right now. It's just cool. That was the mobile version. That's why it probably wasn't working right. Come on, Murph. Right, get in here, listen to voices. Limit view. We're on our radio scanner. I imagine we'll get audio coming in here. What else can we look at? Active TF4s. Like, it's able to track all the TF4s as well. And there's the multiplayer element. There's just so much more, you know. Yeah, the advancements they've made in the last 6 months even. It's frightening, you know, frightening stuff. It's pretty cool though. AI traffic, like we can turn on, there is a way to turn on the AI traffic to see it, but yeah, there's like, you can have thousands upon millions of them. AI generated traffic injection currently being displayed on the map in real time. Like in the SayIntentions model, there's 13,000.
Delta 69042, taxi to holding point, runway 14 via Hotel 2, Hotel.
Do you hear his accent?
3259er, Nanning control, identified. Dao Shangzhou High, Xiangzhou, QNH 1002, climb 8,400 meters.
Meters. Ah, for God's sake, isn't it brilliant? Is Stu's nav aligned? Aircraft doesn't show where it is. Could be the nav's alignment. Well, it looked like electrical problem, but it could be your navs as well. It could be your IRSs. Yeah. Stu, it looks like a failure. I'd go into your failures and check with them. Jeez, all the traffic here, look. So you can actually display, if you want, all the AI traffic on the map on the map as well. So it's just very, very good. We can turn off the AI, of course.
Air Baltic 492, contact Budapest radar on 118.465.
Edelweiss 66, Athens Center, identified Kalinikta.
How do we turn that off?
Beeline 4 Oscar Delta, contact ground on 121.88.
Hello there.
Yeah, I don't know how to, I think it's off by default. Hang on, if we give it another reload, let's see what happens. Umbra, welcome in. Thank you for the follow. So if you go to the 3D view, I love this, the globe. These are all real life pilots.
This is the 3000 until established on the localizer, cleared for Realis, whiskey, runway 25 left approach, 4 Oscar Delta.
It's cool, isn't it?
4 Oscar Delta, contact Brussels Tower on 118.605.
They're just doing great things, lads. They really are. Done and cycle. Electric warning always shows until the engine starts up. Continue to see what happens. Don't panic. Just remember, don't panic. And you'll be grand, Stu. Right. But yeah. Right, lads. That's going to do it for this evening. Hopefully you found this helpful when it comes to having a look at the state. Look at the state. Hopefully you found this helpful when it comes to Strata, ActiveSky.
Oh, Jesus.
I mean, we're literally now living inside the cloud layers. Convective clouds. Look at those storm cells. Isn't that deadly? How big is this on top? It's not too big. There's like so many layers. Onions have layers, ogres have layers. All the layers. That is just terribly, terribly impressive. So this is Strata and Rex Atmos. We also checked out ActiveSky. Yeah, it looks a bit cartoonish because that's what I think Strata and Rex smooth out the clouds a bit. And they're trying to get rid of the pixelation. That's why it looks a little bit kind of mad looking.
Welcome to my secret underground.
Yeah. Like we go back down to ground level here. It's way more realistic in the Lashings of Rain. It's very, very, very impressive. Back to our aircraft. Yeah, it's lashing rain over the facility. That's why it looks so mad. So that was the scene we were starting with earlier on. And then if I turn everything off and we go back to the good old default Asobo, this is where the thing becomes absolutely nuts. You know? Let's just give Asobo time just to reload here. And you'll see the difference. I mean, this is what Strata was giving us. Let's see what the other gives, you know. Is it a requirement? Probably not. That's Asobo live weather. You can see the difference, lads. It's a huge difference, right? It's a huge difference. Is it a requirement? Probably not. I don't think it is a requirement, but I think if you're looking to get a little bit more out of your sim in terms of the sky, these are your options. You know what I mean? And that's with that's like a high setting with the clouds default. So, yeah. Again, hopefully this helped you out in your decision-making process, and it helped. But yeah. What's ActiveSky looking at this location? And we fire up ActiveSky again. It's not bad. I mean, they're very close. Quokka, go back and have an owl gawk and you'll see what the story is. So we had a look at the two of them earlier on. I'll take the cheap option, stay with the default. Yeah. ActiveSky will take a few moments to fully load in the weather. So you'll see it reset and reload and do all this stuff. Where's this now? There we go. There's ActiveSky. Flight Simmer. Good to see you, Shane. Welcome in, buddy. Plus, that look at the 707. It was fun, wasn't it? It was fun. Right, lads, that's going to do it for tonight. My thanks, as always. The support tonight, by the way, was absolutely, holy mother of... It was unbelievable. Thank you very, very much indeed. Your generosity, it is absolutely incredible, and I thank you very, very much. We're back tomorrow at 10 o'clock Zulu. We're going to be in the world of X-Plane, taking the flight factor 757 for some flights as we explore more of the on-air companion and getting ourselves up and running there as well. So, yeah, we covered a nice bit tonight. We were showcasing the 707. We got a preview of the upcoming iniBuilds Malta, which looks absolutely gorgeous. Drzewiecki's Mobile International Airport, ActiveSky and Strata, and a bit of Rex Atmos Core, and Wee Tune Beastie as well. It was a busy night, so I do hope you guys enjoyed it. And yeah, thanks a million for tuning in. Yeah, we're back tomorrow at 11 o'clock or 10 o'clock Zulu for more, and then we have a Vatson flight tomorrow night. Looking forward to it. So yeah, right, I'm away now. Good luck to you. Thanks a million. We'll see you tomorrow. Don't be that curious. It's not, no. Oh. Did you see what happened to Kane? He just bounced off it. Please, somebody clip just that. Kane Leffert flew into the side at 100 knots. He just literally bounced off it and ended up over here. Someone has to clip that, lads. Kane Leffert came straight in. Microsoft, it's Murph. Someone clip this if you can. Do you hear the sounds? I've been blaming aircraft developers. Asobo or Microsoft need to fix this. Do you hear the noise? Outside the plane? You need to fix that, lads. Think about it now, right? I'll sing it for you. Everybody's looking at my tight pants. He's got his tight pants. He's got his tight pants on. I'm actually not wearing tight pants at all. No, they're loosey-gooseys. Do you know, they're the in-house joggings or yoggings. I think is a soft J. They're the in-house yoggings. But the mod control, from a viewer perspective, it makes the whole thing quite negative, doesn't it? When you delete,